not on yet, right? Not yet. I'll tell you when. Yeah. Mhm.
Rock me.
You know, one thing that's very helpful too is that welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Franceschi Hall for another night of exciting Humboldt roller derby. Tonight, the rollers are going to take on Derby, hailing from Southern Oregon, a regional rivalry, and these teams have some familiarity with each other. And I'm joined with my co-host tonight, the color broadcaster, Scar-Crossed Lover. Uh, what should I call you?
You can call me Scar, and some people call me Lover.
Well, we'll go with Scar here for game one. And the first thing we're going to pick up on here is that we're throwing kind of a curveball out here tonight because we're playing the sanctioned game first.
Yes, that's going to be because part of our rollers team is going to play in our second game again. So we're going to save that energy for their sanctioned game first.
So for the sanctioned game will be first, and then there'll be a Halloween exhibition bout after the sanctioned game with Derby. They hail from Southern Oregon. They have players from all around the Rogue Valley. They play their home games at the Medford Armory, and sounds like, have you ever played up there in Medford?
I have not yet.
So it sounds like they have quite the scene like we have down in Humboldt, a strong following and strong attendance. They play teams from all over the region, as do the Redwood Rollers. They've gone as far north as Boise, Idaho this year. They've played Monterey just a couple of weeks ago. And so they're down here for this game this evening. So your first time in the booth. Let's talk about you and your roller derby career. Positions that you've mostly been playing for the rollers.
Yeah. Well, I just joined Humboldt Roller Derby team this year, and I started as a blocker, but as of lately, they've been having me do a little bit of jamming, and that has been an absolute blast. Um,
So you say you've just joined the team this year. That doesn't mean you just joined, right? I mean, you had to go through extensive training, and how long does it take from the start of training until you get called up to one of the big clubs?
the fastest that you can complete our training course is within a year. We have two levels of training prior to making it onto our team. Though many of our skaters who have been on HRD for years took 2 or 3 years or even more to work their way through those levels, repeating those levels, and the rigorous testing that it takes to move up till they are accepted
And
to the team.
tell me about rigorous testing. What does that mean?
So we have a series of skills that you are required to perform in order to make it to the next level of our camp. And each year, skaters try to demonstrate those skate skills to make sure that they are not just capable of playing derby, but they are going to be safe and strong and ready to play for us.
So now talk to me. Were you an athlete in high school or college?
I was not. This has been a new adventure for me in life. I had dabbled with sports here and there, but I joined the training program in August of last year, and it has been a wonderful journey. The community of women here really push you for increasing your athleticism, and beyond that, um, creating a community where people can work together towards the goal of uh, improving Humboldt County through Derby.
So, had you heard of roller derby before? Had you? I mean, were there thoughts of roller derby before?
Yeah, I started skating in 2020, which a lot of people did, trying to find something that we could do outdoors. And it really made a big difference for me to be able to skate outside, but I didn't have any derby skate skills until I officially joined in August.
So, okay, now tell me this. What made you wake up one morning and think, I want to join the derby?
I had some friends who were signing up for training camp, and they said, "Hey, Caroline, you know how to skate better than I do. Why aren't you signing up for training camp?"
Okay, there you go. And so, did you have to be convinced? I mean, did you have to think that one over, or did you just say, "All right, I'm in"?
I just said, "All right, I'm in."
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and it has been a world of difference in my life to have access to this group of people and to Derby. Yeah.
So it's a tremendous commitment, right? Because you're practicing all the time, and look at you now. You're a broadcaster.
Yeah.
You're a volunteer. You're doing all kinds of different volunteer jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, you must get to know each other pretty well once you get started.
Yeah, yeah. We have lots of little community events here and there together through the team. But our practice looks like practicing 6 hours a week, 2 hours per evening. And then some of those skaters even teach our training camp prior to that. So some people are putting in, 12 hours a week on skates to try to be on my team.
Those 2 hour practices, how much of that is scrimmage? How much of that is technique?
That format has been changing over the years, and as of currently, we scrimmage on our Thursday night practices, and we work through techniques on Wednesdays and Tuesdays. But we try to get in as much scrimmaging as possible, battling with attendance, etc., to try to make sure people are there.
Is it a tremendous difference between a scrimmage and then when you get into a real bout?
Yeah, people reserve that energy. They love to hit a lot harder when it's in a real bout.
And against another team, I would assume hitting your own teammates is never a good idea. So,
Yeah.
so how was that for you? I mean, you went through training camp pretty fast. If you went through just a year, so you
I
were
did.
eligible to come onto the roster in August.
Yeah.
How many bouts have you had? Just the one, the Betty and the
I've had two now. Yeah. Yeah, we did our September game, or just the one. This will be my second.
this will be your
So,
second
yes,
tonight.
yes.
Fantastic. So I noticed last game between with the Widowmakers and the Bettys played first, and by the time the night had ended, 6 new skaters had been introduced to the Humboldt team
Yeah.
that night. So you were one of those rookies in there. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, the idea is to try to get into a sanction game next, I would think.
Hmm.
Is there an apprenticeship you have to serve sort of to do that?
Yeah. So our roots team is our lower level sanctioned team, and that lower level sanctioned team, when you're officially put onto the team, it takes a while before you can get rostered to the roots. You have to play in at least two scrimmages before you can be ready to play in an official bout. Mm.
Teams are getting introduced right here, starting to get a little feisty here at Franceschi Hall between these two regional rivals, getting set for tonight's game. I think that many people don't realize sanctioned bouts. There are all kinds of measures that statisticians and scorers are working on that get sent into flat track organization where teams can get points and rankings that people should know that Route Forest, the B team, is a sanctioned B team.
Yeah, yeah. Those skaters put in the same amount of hours as our rollers for their practice, and they are always constantly working to try to work their way up to that AA team.
Well, and the commitment shows the level of play that we've seen here at Franceschi Hall between the rollers and some of the visiting teams this year has been very high level and very competitive. I'll tell you, that game last month, the September bout with the team from Ventura, my goodness, I think my teeth are still loose. That was so jarring, the hitting in that one.
Yeah.
No wonder you play once a month. It takes that long to recover from such an event. So that's it lined up. Now, as you sit here, you're going to be watching and try to explain to us, but are there aspects of the game that you watch for just when you're viewing a game? I mean, you finally, completed the training camp and got in after doing it for a year. When you watch the Redwood Rollers play, what are you watching?
I'm typically looking for track awareness. I'm looking for the skaters that have the mental capacity to know where everybody else is on the track and how to respond and react to what other skaters are doing, because things change in an instant on the derby track.
Okay, we're going to try to get back to some of those points. They're getting ready to start. You're listening to KZZH 96.7, Eureka Community Radio from Access Humboldt. Let's see if we can see the jammers. Looks like Chakra Punch is going to be the first jammer for Humboldt. I don't see a number on the So Derby jammer. Skating off, maybe we'll catch a glimpse. It looks like Zero, and Zero is worn by, of course, Brawl Bunyan. How did you pick your name?
It took a lot of trial and error. I've got a list of at least 40 names
What?
on the list. Yeah. But Scar is part of a childhood nickname that I have, so it was near and dear to my heart.
There you go. That's when you know you're roller derby ready, when the name Scar is near and dear to your heart. I think that there you go. 40 names.
Yeah.
And did you recite them and kind of look at yourself in a mirror or something and see if you fit that name?
Everybody has different methods. At first, it was a lot of people practice saying them at dinner after practice together and try them out. I ended up making a spreadsheet. I started ranking them.
Wow. Now, when you choose a name, do you come out and say it to your teammates?
Yeah, they typically you announce it, and that's a really special part of joining the team is picking and announcing your name.
Is it like a reveal party or something?
Not quite a whole party, but you get a little drum roll, and that makes you feel really good.
I'd like to witness some of these things. Hey, we want to thank our underwriter, the Speakeasy Bar, a New Orleans-inspired custom-built bar, seasonal craft cocktails, local fresh ingredients, live jazz and blues music, and more. Located at 411 Opera Alley in Eureka. Paul Brasou here at Franceschi Hall with Scar-Crossed Lover. And the teams have lined up and gotten ready. It's going to be Chakra Punch and Brawl Bunyan as the jammers to get started. Rotten to Liqueur out there, Slam Chowder out there. Here we go. And into the jam, Chakra Punch trying to take a lane on the outside, falling back nicely. The So Derby blockers. Punch pushing, and is going to make it to the middle of the track, and really some hard-fought breakaway on a semi-apex jump. Meanwhile, the Humboldt blockers have Brawl Bunyan completely locked up, And here comes Chakra Punch around for her first scoring pass. We've got Slam Chowder in the penalty box. So Derby has yet to break their jammer loose as Chakra Punch gets knocked out and has to recycle back. That's Fornicator trying to push the line back so that Chakra Punch will have to start deeper. And finally, Brawl Bunyan is loose. And Brawl Bunyan going to be able to make their first pass for some points. Chakra Punch going to call off the jam. And we're going to see what the points are awarded. What did you see there in that first jam that interested you?
Yeah, I was seeing a great wall of defense by Mod Behavior, Sprocket, and Tula Core, really holding back Brawl Bunyan. And as we saw Chakra call off the jam right at the last second to make sure that they didn't score any points.
A hard-fought point for Humboldt. Now it's Cloverkill trying to get loose. And there's a great job getting loose by Ragnaroxy?
Yeah.
The jammer for So Derby and delivering the blows. I'll tell you, Ragnaroxy knocked out. It's going to have to recycle back. Knocked out that time by Destroyer. Ragnaroxy trying to find a lane down here in corner number 1. Here comes Cloverkill, and Ragnaroxy's going to call off the jam before Cloverkill can get there. Very strategic when you call off a jam, right?
Yeah, it can be the difference of the other team making lead.
So here we go, lined up for jam number 3. And I can't see the jammers just yet, as both teams are right on the line, the jam line. And it looks like for Southern Oregon, Kates of Hell. And, it's Curious George knocked to the ground. And there's a Slam Chowders on. There's people all over the place down here in turn number 1. Some collisions going on, and Curious George is going to break away. But here comes Kates of Hell. Kates of Hell going around for their first scoring opportunity, calling out instructions to the blockers, and then meeting the Humboldt defense head on, and then calling off the jam. Seems like we've had jams called off very quickly so far in this game. Just 4 minutes old, but is that a strategy that's going to go the whole night? It's going to be a low-scoring affair if that's the case. So Derby up right now 5-1.
Yeah, we'll see if they keep taking them by inches.
And we're going to have to get a look at the jammers here. This time, both blocking lines start way back, and the jammers get some speed going before they hit into the defense. But, man, this is clogged up in turn number 1. And knocked out and recycling back is Pure Presser for Humboldt. For the Rollers, breaking away. What a great move.
That is
Muscle Mommy. Muscle Mommy, who made their debut last month against Ventura, that incredibly hard-fought game. I don't know if I would have come back if that would have been my first game. Muscle Mommy delivering a blow. Must have learned something in that game and now has to recycle back. Meanwhile, jammed up Pure Presser. What great defense. Knocking Pure Presser to the ground was Peaches and Scream. And then breaking loose is Muscle Mommy.
And we just had a star pass from So Derby.
A star pass, very good. A star pass to the pivot. And going ahead, and it's going to be London Rumbler, but London Rumbler will never get a chance to go ahead and score some points, at least never get a chance on that jam. She may get one in the future. But the jam was called off. 9-5. The Rollers picked up an 8-0 set on that. That's fantastic. Chakra Punch back out there, and it's going to be the first matchup of jammers that we saw with Brawl Bunyan. Now, remember, they really jammed Brawl Bunyan up last time. Couldn't even get loose. 0 points. Here's Chakra Punch. Shocker was my announcer last time. Oh, and this Brawl Bunyan. Don't play her cheap. Breaking loose. Oh, Chakra Punch delivering a blow and knocking Mountain Mel to the ground and breaking loose. Now, oh, this straight on. There is no finesse right now in these jammers. They are delivering the blows and calling off the jam. And after 6 minutes of hard-fought defense, a 9-9 tie.
Yeah, this is shaping out already to be a really tight game.
Great start to the game. Humboldt's going to start deeper on the jam line this time. If this is the second jam, it's going to be Clover and Pure Presser, I believe. So breaking loose. No, that's Ragnaroxy and Cloverkill are going to be the jammers against each other. Cloverkill's knocked out and has to recycle back. Here comes Ragnaroxy into the middle and scoring some points and breaking. And the inside knocked out. Refs didn't see that. Ragnaroxy still on the track, didn't have to recycle back, and it's Cloverkill that breaks loose. And Ragnaroxy's going to call it off before Cloverkill has a opportunity to score any points. Now, when you jam, are you this gusto that we're seeing here? We just take it to the defense?
I really love to hit the pack fast and hard. Yeah, that is the only way to break through a wall.
There you go. Wow. That's the kind of expertise we need. Here we go. Curious George and Kates of Hell are the two jammers. And great job by the blockers, Rotten to Liqueur and Maud Behavior. But Kates of Hell does break loose and is on a scoring run. Meanwhile, George knocked out by Fornicator. Ooh, that's a tough defensive player right there. And it's going to be Curious George. Oh, what a move. Inside, outside, breaking loose. Had the star to pass and then decided not to. And a little shake and bake got loose on the inside. Meanwhile, Kates of Hell is in the penalty box. So this is a Humboldt with the only chance to score the rollers.
Yeah, and while Kates of Hell is in there, we have a power jam. So Furious George is going to keep pushing, and this is going to be a 2-minute skate for all of our skaters.
So Curious George really having a tough time finally breaking loose. Some hard checking. Fornicator and Mountain Mel doing their job for So Derby. Here comes George, and George trying to walk the tightrope on the inside line, gets knocked out and has to recycle back. Meanwhile, Kates of Hell behind the Humboldt tripod and being held nicely. Great job in there by Sugar Rush and Maud Behavior and Rotten to Liqueur. They've been good so far. Here comes Furious George. 17-13 in favor of the Rollers. We're in jam number 7. It looks like it's going to go the full 2 minutes. Furious George fighting, looking exhausted out there in turn 4. Mountain Mel and Fornicator holding them up, and that's going to be the jam, a full 2-minute jam there. And let's look at the point totals. Point totals were 8-4. The Rollers won the session, but it is 17-17.
Yeah, we're tied up again. That's pretty exciting.
It is exciting. Actually, now is you never can be too sure in roller derby because points just keep coming in from the referees. 20-17, Rollers favor an 11-4 run there. Muscle Mommy, the rookie. Actually, Muscle Mommy came back to the team.
Yeah,
so not quite a rookie, but broken loose.
They joined the August before last.
And they are doing what a hit.
Team.
Knocked down is Pure Presser. Muscle Mommy out front, taking on some real tough blockers. That's Kablamo. And escaping the hip check of Kablamo and coming around for another scoring run is Muscle Mommy and does a sidestep to the outside and then straddles that line, is going to score some more. So a little action for Humboldt. We're going to see the star being passed. Pure Presser trying to get it to Kablamo, but knocked out. Great defense there by Peaches and Scream. Here comes Muscle Mommy following the block of Stranger Danger. Stranger Danger always playing bigger, always playing stronger. And it's going to spring Muscle Mommy. This is quite a run, a 12-0 run to this point.
Yeah, Peaches and Scream and Just Destroyer have been holding back that SO Jammer from giving that star pass.
It's the pivot. Kablamo trying to work their way up. They've got the star in their hand. They haven't been able to put the head cover on. Peaches and Scream on a 16-0 run. This jam's going to go the full 2 minutes. And Humboldt's going to open up a little distance score-wise. The jam is called off. Let's see what the final totals are. $18-0 on that run and puts Humboldt up 38-17. So the Redwood Rollers ahead of So Derby 38-17. Muscle Mommy with a huge jam. That was jam number 7 so far in the first half. A first half that has 17:30 to go. And here we go. Breaking loose. Oh, what a nice job on the inside by Brawl Bunyan. And right behind is Chakra Punch. So you've got the two jammers out front. Punch gaining some ground, heading for the pack and calling off the jam is Brawl Bunyan. I got to ask you something.
Yeah.
It looked like that time that once those two jammers got out on the loose, the blocking skaters started skating faster too. Tell me about that.
I'm so glad you asked. Yeah. So we started that jam with a blocker in the box from both teams. And when you are down skaters, it is often a strategy to try to save your point. And save your point means that if you're a blocker, you're going to haul down the track to make it so that jammer doesn't pass you and get their point, and wait until you can get more blockers on the track with you to create a wall.
And they did a great job of that. There was when the jam ends, because the blockers were so on the move, we only had 5 total points in that whole jam. Redwood Rollers picked up 2. Oregon, Southern Oregon, So Derby got 3, 40-20 the score. Now, is there a call or something? How do you know that? Do they yell break? Do they yell?
So it's part of that skill that I was talking to you about earlier. The skaters that are the best skaters are skaters with good track awareness. It is your responsibility to constantly be looking around and knowing, do I have as many people as I need to fill a wall today? And if you don't, making sure that you can save that point on your own.
And they know when to take off. So very interesting defensive strategy. Cloverkill and Ragnaroxy. Ragnaroxy's been a hard-hitting jammer so far. Both teams decide to get right up on the jam line. Yeah, 16:52 to go. Humboldt's doubled them up 40-20. Ragnaroxy got to deliver a blow and then knocks Cloverkill down. It looks like Ragnaroxy's going to head to the box. A penalty on the play, and that means that Cloverkill will be on a power jam here for Humboldt. And a good block by Stranger Danger, at least a screen that gets Cloverkill. Cloverkill had thought about passing the star to the pivot, Stranger Danger, but has retained the star and is on the move now. Kind of a faint-hearted defense by So Derby at the moment. Well, knocked out there by London Rumbler, the pivot. And Cloverkill is going to go ahead and break loose. The defense has to let her go once they pass the line. And Ragnar Roxy is back out. Kind of one-on-one with Stranger Danger. Danger doing a great job. Danger gets great position. But Ragnar Roxy, nice footwork. And now you've got that situation with both jammers out on the loose. And let's see how these teams do it. Humboldt is going to Redwood Rollers. Both teams are setting up their tripods. They're going to take these jammers on, and they're doing so. Locked up, both those jammers. Ragnar Roxy, no really to go. Same with Cloverkill. Cloverkill knocked out and has to recycle back. Now here comes Peaches and Scream trying to spring Cloverkill, and Cloverkill being held up by Mountain Mel doing a great job. Cloverkill has now broke loose and has a possibility to score, looking exhausted after that. The Rollers are on a 12-0 run, and the jam is called off.
One of the things we're seeing that's making this game really fun is great offense. And it is a fast switch between your offense and your defense in roller derby. But we're seeing people making some really nice walls and holes for those jammers to go through.
And is that as a jammer, or excuse me, as a blocker, you have that defense first. But when your jammer comes around, that's when you're able to lay those screens and blocks and get them loose.
Yeah.
So here's Furious George. And Furious George is being held up by two very strong defenders, Mountain Mel and Fornicator. Meanwhile, for So Derby, it's Cates of Hell, but Cates of Hell is running it. And Furious George is going to break loose.
Mm-hmm.
Mountain Mel could not keep her at bay. Cates of Hell, it's Sprocket and Maud Behavior and Otter Pop doing some great jamming right now. And now Furious George came all the way around, and we see So Derby with a tremendous tripod, and both of these skaters are jammed up in turn one right in front of us. And there are some very coordinated defensive positioning here by both teams. Furious George fighting, trying to get out. Same with Cates of Hell. 51 seconds left in the jam. Furious George spinning around. I'll tell you, Mountain Mel, what a great position player. And Fornicator, hip checks, side checks, all kinds of fantastic defensive work. Here, breaking into the Humboldt Zombie Bear, trying to lay a block. Cates of Hell taken on right now with Humboldt's wall of defense. This is going nowhere. It looks like a rugby scrum. And Rotten Chulicor is kind of stuck in between, wanting to know if the star could be passed or if they can throw a block to spring Furious George. This is one of the longest. That's going to be the entire jam. Amazing. That jam was so rough as far as being held up.
One thing that's great about holding those skaters back is you create a situation where, by the pack rules of the game, you string out the other team, which helps your jammer get out.
Well, there you go. 56-23 with 11:50 to go.
Danger.
And
right
there's
off the
Stranger
line, getting
Danger.
ready.
First time jamming here in this half. Breaking wide open and being knocked down to her knees, but getting up and fighting back. Great speed and catching up. Outstripping her blockers, though, and around Southern Oregon again. So here comes another great run by the Redwood Rollers. this last 7 or 8 minutes has been all rollers. Remember, this game was tied at 17, and right now it's 64-23. And looks like the jam is being called off. About halfway through, or almost halfway through, half number one was 8-4 on the scoring set that time, 64-27. Humboldt playing, the Rollers, Redwood Rollers playing tremendous defense tonight.
Yeah.
You know, oftentimes, I think what I've seen, the strength of the Redwood Rollers defense, when the defense is on, it's all about their positioning.
Yeah. They take a lot of care into thinking about who they are blocking and what types of jammers or what jamming types they're headed up against.
Now, you were telling me practice, the 2-hour practices you have scrimmaging, but you must be working on these tripods and this defensive scheme that you have.
Yeah, there's a lot of strategy in our practices and making sure that we're going over specific defensive and offensive drills daily.
Now, do you have, when you're working out with a team, do they try to find groups of blockers that are going to be the same blockers during the game?
Yeah, our coaches do make our packs in advance, and then they have us work in those packs throughout our scrimmaging practices.
So here we go right now. Trying to break through is Muscle Mommy. Muscle Mommy doing a great job through Mountain Mel and Fornicator. And meanwhile, being held up, it looks like Brawl Bunyan. Here comes Muscle Mommy for a scoring opportunity. And knocked out, has to recycle back. Meanwhile, pushing is Brawl Bunyan, but it's Slam Chowder and Rotten Chulicore doing a great job defensively. Brawl Bunyan is loose and is going to be on a scoring opportunity. And the jam is being called up. That's been a nice unit out there tonight. The Otter Pop
Mod Behavior,
Rotten Chulicore, and Slam Chowder. They've done a great job. I'll tell you, here's lately, I think one of my favorite defenders to watch is on the rink right now, number 59, Bjorn Wicked, terrific player for the Rollers. Chakra Punch is jamming, as is Ragnaroxy for So Humboldt. Ragnaroxy, great job on the inside to break through very quickly. Chakra Punch being held up and now finally breaks through themselves. Ragnaroxy coming around on a scoring run, and it's Bjorn Wicked knocking Ragnaroxy out. And Ragnaroxy back in, and Bjorn Wicked floats back and unable to contain Ragnaroxy. And we have the jam called off. Yeah. I think So Derby would have wanted that jam to go longer because Ragnaroxy was in a position to score more.
Yeah, they had some great offense right off the line that enabled them to get lead. And So Derby is really bringing it tonight.
So Otter Pop, Sprocket, Rocket, Rotten Chulicore, and Slam Chowder. They're the blockers that are there. And it's Cloverkill. Cloverkill on the outside. Great move. Found a lane on the outside and is broken free. Meanwhile, pushing for the So Derby Scrambler, but Scrambler being held up by a pack that has been outstanding tonight. Clover on the inside and getting knocked out by Fornicator. Fornicator is logging some heavy minutes and try to go back deep on the track to get Clover to recycle back farther. But whistle was blown and jam was called off. Now, that's a strategy too, right? When you knock someone out and they've got to recycle back, you go ahead and get as far back as you can so they have to come in behind you?
So you are legally allowed to run a derby player back 20 feet from the last player on your team.
And wouldn't that always be what you want to do?
Yeah, but at times you actually want to cut them in a little bit closer because then you can form a tighter wall to hold them.
Oh, I see.
If you run them all the way back, you run the risk of not creating a wall and then just zipping right past you once they re-enter the track.
So is that part of that rink awareness where you look at your skaters and make the decision?
Yeah, that's something to think about. What type of jammer you're up against? Are they going to be quicker than you? Can you hold them back? And what your teammates need at the time in order to make that successful.
Okay, want to give our underwriters a call out. Rennie Public Law Group, providing legal services to public agencies throughout California, practicing public law in the public interest. Find out more at renniepubliclawgroup.com. Broadcasts of Humboldt Roller Derby home games supported in part by A to Z Eye Care, dedicated to providing the community with quality vision care through education, technology, and excellent service. Find out more at A to Z.com. And the broadcast is underwritten by the Speakeasy Bar in New Orleans, inspired custom-built bar, seasonal craft cocktails, local fresh ingredients, live jazz and blues music, and more, located at 411 Opera Alley in Eureka. After the timeout, they are lined up, and let's take a look at these jammers, and it is Pure Presser that breaks loose. Now, jamming for Humboldt is Cloverkill, but Cloverkill is in the box, so this is exactly what So Derby needs, is a run where they can try to score some points. You know, I don't know what constitutes holding, but Cherry Noble had a grabbed Bjorn Wicked to try to spring loose their jammer, Pure Presser. Clover is finally out of the box and well behind Pure Presser, and Pure Presser is going to pick up some points there rather easily. Not much defense there from Humboldt on that play.
Yeah, because we've got two in the box, Just Destroyer and Peaches and Scream.
So 8-0 as far as the run there. 73-39. Humboldt, from about the 17-minute mark on, has just been outstanding. From that 17-minute mark on, they've scored 56 points and only allowed 22 to Southern Oregon. 73-39 at the moment. Stranger Danger back out as a jammer, and that's Brawl Bunyan as well. Brawl being pushed along that far end line and able to stay in. Great balance. Stranger Danger pushing and going ahead and breaking loose. We haven't seen Furious George in a bit. I wonder if Stranger Danger has taken over because of some injury or some other reason. And as I say that, Furious George comes on to the rink, so that answers that question. We've got 5:21 to go here in the first half. A great first half. That jam with all the action that we saw and all the pushing and shoving, only 1 point awarded on the entire jam. 1-0 in favor of the Rollers. So it's 74-39 as we hit the 5-minute mark here in the first half. Furious George is being held up, and it's Ragnar Roxy. Ragnar Roxy has been the strongest of the jammers so far for So Derby. Ragnar Roxy with a move to the outside, then the inside, and then with some collision, and is going to break through the Humboldt defense. Sprocket Rocket, the last line of defense, and Ragnar Roxy calls off the jam pretty quick. They just don't want the Rollers to get a chance to score, right?
Yeah.
They can't break even right now. They need to find a run.
They're chipping away. One thing that's really fun to see is So Derby is setting up, and Humboldt Roller Derby is taking their time at the back line, doing a technique called 4 corners, where they wait until that 5 seconds is called to do their setup and create a setup that is taking derbies on the line into account.
Well, breaking through that time immediately was Muscle Mommy, and Muscle Mommy on the loose. Kates of Hell being held up. That strong effort line tonight of Rotten Chulicore, Slam Chowder, Otter Pop, and Maud Behavior back in there. And that's Maud Behavior doing a great job on Kates of Hell.
And we're seeing number 13 from Derby headed to the box.
That's Mountain Mel. Played a good game so far. Muscle Mommy coming up and scoring some points and drop to the ground. Drop to the ground by number 29. That was Zombie Bear with the check. Muscle Mommy, though, is up and loose.
Kates of Hell does not have a pivot as they are in the box, so they're pushing through, trying to break through that wall.
And that must be, that's a situation we don't usually talk about. If the pivot is in the box, there's no one that's can legally be given the star, be passed the star by. And so if you have a person advantage and you can really jam up that jammer, so to speak, where they can't get out and score. I mean, that's a time. It's almost it's a weird way to kind of have a power advantage, power jam.
That's a potential 30 seconds of successful points that you could be getting.
So Kates of Hell did pass the pivot, or did pass the star to the pivot, Mountain Mel, but never got a chance because Muscle Mommy, who had a great run there, a 10-0 run for Redwood Rollers, went ahead and called off the jam 84-43. 2:09 to go in the first half. An impressive first half for Humboldt. What are you more impressed with right now with a couple minutes to go, the offense or the defense tonight?
I would say the offense. I think both teams are really being strategic about who they're hitting and when they're hitting and creating moves for their players. We just saw some great offense by 42 on Derby, creating a hole so Pure Presser could get lead jammer.
And Pure Presser is coming around with a chance to score. Just Destroyer takes her out. And now they're going to recycle back. Peaches and Scream and Just Destroyer doing their job. Not as a tripod. Stranger Danger is the pivot and the floater kind of waiting. Meanwhile, Chakra Punch is held up, and that's because Redwood Rollers are a skater down in the penalty box. Now the teams are back to full strength. Chakra Punch is broken loose. And coming around. And we're going to see the jam called off. 53 seconds to go, so we're under a minute here in half number one, 84-46. As we said, from about the 17-minute mark here in the first half, this game was tied. And the Redwood Rollers have been outstanding since that point. Here's your four corners defense again as the Redwood Rollers ease to the line. It's Cloverkill for the Rollers and Brawl Bunyan being really smothered by the Roller defense. Sprocket Rocket laying his shoulder down and is going to go to the box. Cloverkill also going to the box for Derby is London Rumbler. The period has actually run out, but the jam must continue and still has a minute 22 to go. So a little extra time here in the first period, and they're going to call off the jam, and that's going to bring on intermission. Let's see what points are awarded. The Rollers are given 4 points, and it's 88-46. A quick impression of the first half. What'd you think?
Everybody is giving it their absolute all. Yeah.
They are. You have to in this game. So we'll send it back to the station. Halftime, Redwood Rollers 88, So Derby 46 from Franceschi Hall. And we'll see you for half number 2 in about 10 minutes.
Welcome to the KZZH Community Calendar for the week starting Friday, October 17th, 2025. On Friday, October 17th, make it a spooky TGIF with the Ferndale Museum candlelight tours and ghost stories from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Ferndale Museum, 515 Shaw Avenue. This is a seasonally appropriate self-guided tour of the museum. Each stop in the 30 to 45-minute family-friendly haunted tour features a visit from one of Ferndale's historic spirits. Proceeds benefit the museum. Get kids and adult admission pricing at ferndalemuseum.com. It's free for kids under 5. Email ferndalemuseum@gmail.com or call 707-786-4466 for more information. Also on Friday, 'tis the season for the Hall of Horrors starting at 7 p.m. at the Eureka Veterans Memorial. Welcome to the KZZH Community Calendar for the week starting Friday, October 17th, 2025. On Friday, October 17th, make it a spooky TGIF with the Ferndale Museum candlelight tours and ghost stories from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Ferndale Museum, 515 Shaw Avenue. This is a seasonally appropriate self-guided tour of the museum. Each stop in the 30 to 45-minute family-friendly haunted tour features a visit from one of Ferndale's historic spirits. Proceeds benefit the museum. Get kids and adult admission pricing at ferndalemuseum.com. It's free for kids under 5. Email ferndalemuseum@gmail.com or call 707-786-4466 for more information. Also on Friday, 'tis the season for the Hall of Horrors starting at 7 p.m. at the Eureka Veterans Memorial Hall, 1018 H Street. This is an immersive multi-room haunted walkthrough, a curated night market with local artisans and vendors, a food truck court, and local culinary conjurers. There will be an adults-only 21 and over event on October 24th and 25th. Go to darkcouncilproductions.com to find out about admission pricing. On Saturday, October 18th, come to the Humboldt Paranormal video showing from 12 to 3 p.m. at the Eureka Library, 1313 3rd Street. This is a showing of Humboldt Paranormal's latest video episode that covers their paranormal investigation of the Samoa Cookhouse. There will be a Q&A to follow. Go to humlib.org to find out more. Also on Saturday, you are invited to the Halloween Harvest Fair from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Organic Matters Ranch, 6821 Myrtle Avenue in Eureka. There will be more than 40 vendors selling food, drinks, treats, crafts, art, and woodworking, face painters, storytellers, pumpkin carving, hay maze, pyramid, petting zoos, and pumpkins galore. Email info@organicmattersranch.com or call 707-798-3276. Finally, on Saturday, get ready to rumble. It's Humboldt Roller Derby starting at 6 p.m. Redwood Acres Fairgrounds, 3750 Harris Street in Eureka. Doors open at 5 p.m. with the first bout at 6. HRD is now hosting local food trucks. If you can't make it out to Redwood Acres, KZZH and Access Humboldt have you covered. Listen on KZZH 96.7, watch on Optimum Channel 8, or live stream video at Access Humboldt's YouTube page. On Sunday, October 19th, come for art, stay for the wine and jazz from 3 to 5 p.m. at Morris Graves Museum of Art, 636 F Street in Eureka. This is a monthly performance series highlighting Humboldt County performers. This month, there will be music by Swingo Domingo. The regular admission price applies. Go to humboldtarts.org for more information. Also on Sunday, the summer music series continues from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Humboldt Botanical Garden, 7351 Tompkins Hill Road, College of the Redwoods campus, North Entrance in Eureka. This family-friendly series invites you to bring your lawn chairs and picnic blankets to enjoy music while sipping wine, beer, and other refreshments and food available for purchase. Or you can bring your own. Go to hbgf.org to find out more. Finally, on Sunday, grab your doggo and head to Bark in the Park starting at 10 a.m. at Sequoia Park, 3414 W Street in Eureka. Humboldt Bay firefighters host this dog-friendly 5K run and walk benefiting Two Rivers Pet and Wildlife Welfare Services. Come with a leash dog. With current vaccinations, there will be live music and raffles. On Monday, October 20th, don't miss the UFC of Humboldt from 6 to 8 p.m. at HLOC Space 92 Sunnybury Center in Arcata. Bring a ukulele and join the fun. Check out the calendar at ukulelefightclubofhumboldt.com for cancellations and additional events. All levels are welcome. There's a modest suggested donation. Email ukulelesaray@gmail.com for more information. On Tuesday, October 21st, check out English Express, an online English language class for adults. Build your English language confidence in ongoing online and in-person classes. All levels and first languages are welcome. You may join at any time, and pre-registration is not required. Go to EnglishExpressEmpowered.com or call 707-443-5021 to find out more. Also on Tuesday, pick up some produce and more at the Old Town Farmers Market from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Old Town Eureka on F Street between 1st and 3rd Streets. There will be fresh fruits and vegetables, bread, donuts, jam, crafts, and live music. No pets, but trained AD certified service animals are welcome. CalFresh EBT customers receive a market match at every farmer's market. Call 707-441-9999 to find out more. On Wednesday, October 22nd, come to the online Humboldt Healthcare for All meeting from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Humboldt Healthcare for All and Physicians for a National Health Program meet by Zoom. Email healthcareforallhumboldt@gmail.com for the meeting link. Also on Wednesday, join a forum promoting constructive conversations from 4:45 to 7 p.m. at the Humboldt Area Foundation, 363 Indianola Road in Bayside. Community leaders, activists, and concerned citizens will meet to explore challenges of communicating on difficult and complex topics. Call 707-268-2548 to find out more. On Thursday, October 23rd, you are invited to Spanish-English language exchange from 4:30 to 5:15 p.m. at the College of the Redwoods downtown site, 527 D Street in Eureka. The event will connect Spanish and English speakers looking to practice either language in an event of mutual benefit and support. Childcare and refreshments will be offered for the event free of charge. Email jonathan-mayulo@redwoods.edu or call 707-476-4527 to find out more. Scholarships for re-entry students are available for women who are attending Cal Poly Humboldt in either upper level or graduate programs and have returned to college after a hiatus of 5 years or more in their collegiate education. You are invited to check the Humboldt American Association of University Women Breaking Through Barriers re-entry scholarship program. Scholarships have ranged from $1,000 to $2,500 in recent years. Application deadline is October 31st. Detailed eligibility requirements and the application are available at humboldt-ca.aauw.net. The Community Access Project for Eureka accepts donations for new appropriate Halloween costumes for children in need ages 0 through 17 through October 24th at the Adorney Center or the Uplift Eureka Community Resource Center during open hours. Get more info at eurekaheroes.org or by calling 707-672-2253. National Alliance on Mental Illness Humboldt offers a free 8-session course in Eureka for family members and others who have loved ones living with mental illness. For more information or to register, email edith.friche@gmail.com or fill out a program request at NAMI-Humboldt.org. To submit your nonprofit event to the KZZH community calendar, go to kzzh.accesshumboldt.net and follow the community calendar link located near the top of the page. Your event information will be read twice a day, at noon and 5 p.m. on weekdays and at noon on the weekends. Your event information will also be shared on Access Humboldt TV's bulletin board. Access Humboldt, local voices through community media. For KZZH in Eureka, I'm Isabella Vanderheiden.
Welcome back to Franceschi Hall here in Eureka, Redwood Acres. You're listening to 96.7 KCZH radio broadcast of the Redwood Rollers Roller Derby tonight, taking on So Derby, Southern Oregon's Derby team, hailing from Medford. 88-46 at the half. We're getting ready to start. And what does Southern Oregon have to do to get back into this game, Scar?
I mean, they've got a few points to catch up, but that could just be one or two good jams on their part, depending on how the Rollers keep that lead.
Well, talk to me. It's a 40-point lead. Is that what you're thinking? I mean, is it possible to catch up in just a couple, three jams?
I have seen some 20 to 40-point jams.
So there you go. And speaking of that, we're started here in the second half. And Brawl Bunyan and Chakra Punch, they were the two jammers that started at the opening bell, and they are here at the second half. Great blocking right there by number 342, Chuck Norris, to spring Brawl Bunyan. And Brawl Bunyan looking at the coaches, wanting one more chance to pass. A little head fake, little in, little out, and then on the outside and into that tripod that's been so good tonight. Oh, what a move! Kind of a spin apex move to the inside by Brawl Bunyan. And here you go. Scar, just the kind of run that Southern Oregon needed. 8-0 so far in this pass in this jam, and breaking loose and driven to the ground by Slam Chowder.
And Chakra Punch was just sent to the box, said this is going to be a power jam, and Brawl Bunyan has 45 seconds left to try to make up that difference.
So an enormous advantage for Southern Oregon. Brawl Bunyan, who was looking to the bench earlier in this jam to see if they should call the jam off or not, kept the jam going. You wind up with Chakra Punch in the box, and now you have a power jam, and you have that kind of big scoring run that Southern Oregon So Derby needed. And 16-0 on the run so far. Back into the game is Chakra Punch. They're finally going to call off that jam, and maybe I should just be quiet. A 16-1 run makes things look a lot more doable now for So Derby. 89-66. That's why we have color broadcasters that play the game.
Yeah.
You know?
Derby always keeps you on your toe stops.
So Derby keeping on the toes. Jess Destroyer with a good block on Mount Melon. How did that happen? Ragnar Roxy.
They got out with all of that offense.
That was like an apparition. They just appeared. How did they break through that line so fast?
Overkill running up behind, trying to see if they can catch up and get some points as well.
And there's going to be a jam called up. And it looks like, at least in that example that we just saw, that, you know, the fact that Ragnar Roxy was clogged up there by the Humboldt defenders, the reality was they didn't want to give Cloverkill a chance to even get a point, so they called that jam off.
Yeah, exactly that.
And Oregon Roller Derby won that. Southern Oregon 2-0 on that jam. So here we go. Stranger danger to the outside, tiptoeing along the inside line, and then breaking loose. And I'll tell you what, wow, elusive, speed, and racing around the track and coming up for a scoring opportunity. Meanwhile, Kates of Hell, who's had a rough night, to be honest, hasn't broke loose very often, is clogged up again. And now Kates of Hell, you know, as soon as you say something, and now you got jammer on jammer action. They're loose. Stranger Danger delivers the blow. Stranger Danger takes the lead. Stranger Danger coming up for a possible scoring opportunity. And we see So Derby players on the track. And Stranger Danger has been caught up in turn number 4 and is going to be kept from breaking loose. Is going to call off the jam. Stranger Danger did score 4 points. 5 points, a 4-point advantage, 5-1 on the jam, 97-66. 66.
And there goes that track awareness again. Even being hit down and recycled back, they're paying attention to their blocker wall up front, stranger danger, to make sure that they could keep jamming for a little moment before the other jammer was let free.
There you go. Good eye on that one. So off the line, it's Muscle Mommy. And I believe that's Pure Presser. And Muscle Mommy pushing on Mountain Mel and finally breaking loose. Bjorn Wicked, Jess Destroyer, Sugar Rush.
Pure Presser reaching for a star pass while Humboldt Roller Derby is holding back their pivot.
There you go. And is that something also that goes on? The pivot is Mountain Mel, and Mountain Mel is the last line of defense, and has been nowhere near Pure Presser to get the star. Now they have the star. Muscle Mommy. Oh, good hit there. Pure Presser taking down Muscle Mommy. Muscle Mommy's going to call off that jam. And points being awarded. Redwood Rollers 6-0 on that run. Kind of getting control again. 24 minutes to go here in the second half. It was about at the 17-minute mark that Humboldt went on a strong run to end the first half and to gain control in the game. So, Furious George on the rink with Brawl Bunyan. Brawl Bunyan doing a much better job in this second half of busting loose. Had a tough first half. Oh, what a hit there. That's London Rumbler taking down Furious George. Brawl Bunyan scoring some points, meeting up with Sprocket Rocket now. And Otter Pop. Furious George finally breaks loose. And somebody came out of the penalty box, number 87.
Pretty awkward.
Pretty awkward. That's running interference for Brawl Bunyan. Brawl Bunyan knocked out by Rotten Chulicorn and then calls off the jam. Brawl Bunyan, of course, started this half with a 16-1 run. And there's 6 points there. So 103-72. That's unusual to see a player that was kind of contained in the first half, Brawl Bunyan, not scoring a lot, but then has come out and started out the second half very hot.
You know, the teams adjust their strategies at halftime based on the first half, and it can make a really big difference for individual skaters in that way.
There you go. Adjustments. Meanwhile, Ragnar Roxy pushing tough into Bjorn Wicked, and Peaches and Scream. In to help is Slam Chowder.
Chakra Punch getting recycled back.
Recycled back by Fornicator. Chakra Punch looks a little exhausted, taking on that big line. And, oh, that's big number 29, Zombie Bear, doing some pushing and shoving. And Chakra Punch is now at kind of walking speed. Ragnar Roxy is going to think about calling off the jam and is going to be penalized. Recycled back in front of Bianca Swagger and was called for a penalty.
Yeah, they received a track cut, which now makes this a power jam. So there is no lead jammer because Ragnar Roxy was the lead jammer. So this jam will continue to go on for another 40 seconds.
And an exhausted Chakra Punch breaks loose. Chakra, who celebrated her birthday on the air with us last time. And into Mountain Melon, Fornicator have been the best offender so far for So Derby. And Chakra Punch being held up practically. And that's Ragnar Roxy coming out of the box and skating hard. Hard to believe that Chakra Punch did not call off the jam. Chakra Punch finding a little extra energy and going to get past and score some points. That was gutty. So Derby wins the jam 6-4, but Chakra Punch hung in there.
Yeah. Right now we're seeing as they're taking some time to set up. We're seeing a 3-wall tripod set up with the pivot in the box by So Derby. Clover Kill on the inside line, pushing through that wall from So Derby.
And there you go.
Clover takes the lead.
Great job out of you picking up while your play-by-play man refreshed himself, and now we're back into the action.
Yeah, Kates of Hell still recycled back. They have not made it out of the pack yet, so they are not currently able to score points yet. They're being told by their team to pass the panty, but their pivot is all the way at the back holding out the jammer.
You know, I've noticed that tonight with Mountain Mel. Mountain Mel has been sort of the last line of defense, and it hasn't been there when the pivot has been called upon to receive the star. Clover Kill now.
They are a very strong blocker, so I have seen them as that last line of defense because they hold that jammer back for significantly longer than others.
Okay, Clover Kill on the move. Clover Kill pushing. And Clover Kill being held up. Kates of Hell has had a rough night. Is there a point in a game when you replace a blocker, or a jammer, and say, you know what, this person just isn't getting loose tonight?
The way that we do it in Humboldt Roller Derby is always checking in with our skaters to make sure that their needs are being met whenever they have the energy to play the positions that they've been assigned. They do. And otherwise, you can recycle in for other positions when necessary. Though not too often you sit someone out.
Right. So there's no pinch hitter or replacement or anything like that. So here we go. Both teams decided to go ahead and float in from the line. Not up on the line to start. Muscle Mommy going ahead and pushing hard. And breaking loose is going to be Pure Presser.
And then some great offense on the inside by Dress Destroyer and Sugar Rush to finally get Muscle Mommy loose. We're seeing the pack moving quite fast down the track in order for skaters to save their points as Pure Presser is coming up and trying to get at them.
So here we go, and then we're going to have a knockdown there, and the jam called off. 1:15:78, 17:40 to go. You're listening to KZZH 96.7 Eureka Community Radio from Access Humboldt. You're listening to Roller Derby on KZZH 96.7. This broadcast is underwritten by the Speakeasy Bar, New Orleans-inspired custom-built bar, seasonal craft cocktails, local fresh ingredients, live jazz, and blues music and more, located at 411 Opera Alley. We're back into jam number 8,
Yes.
and we're seeing Ragnar Roxy, who's been a real tough jammer tonight for So Derby, breaking loose.
The jammer for Humboldt Roller Derby is in the box right now.
So we have a power jam going on as Muscle Mommy is in the box. Hitting taking place down there. Boy, I'll tell you, Slam Chowder getting into some action down here on the bottom of the track on turn number 1 without the jammer even around. Nice move by Ragnar Roxy to break loose to the outside. Now cutting to the inside. The pack may be moving, but Ragnar Roxy scoring some points and then calling off the jam. 16:24 and counting to go. Let's see the tally on that play. That jam only was a 2-0 jam, so 1:15:83. So Derby kind of in, what would you say? Touching, they're going to add points. So 1:15:88, getting closer as we speak, kind of in shouting distance. So here we go on the jam for the second time tonight. There's Furious George breaking out for the second time tonight. So Derby is going to use number 777 Scrambler as their jammer. Furious George fighting, breaking to the outside, spin move, and loose. Furious George now with a chance to score some points. Scrambler, never having an opportunity to break out, did pass the star. So you've got the pivot for Sohum, and that's Brawl Bunyan, who had been a very successful jammer and a half now with the star and scoring some points himself. George coming in for a third pass and taking a route to the outside and picking up 4 more points. George on a very important run for Humboldt to kind of break some of this So Derby momentum. And the jam is going to be called off. A 12-4 run. You have to keep that pivot close to that jammer, don't you?
The pivot functions as a blocker, so they can be anywhere that they need to be at the time. But if your jammer is not received lead, then that pivot needs to get close to that jammer so they can take a star pass if necessary.
And that's been a problem for them tonight. They haven't had the pivot close when they've needed. So right now, pushing for Southern Oregon, pure presser, and So Derby jammer finally breaks loose, and that Chakra Punch, who was exhausted the last time out with some heavy-duty pushing. Humboldt setting up, and pure presser is going to call off the jam. I think the rollers are just fine if So Derby is going to call those jams quicker than and not try for the kind of long jam that scores points. If they call them off quick, I know that they're trying to keep the rollers from scoring, but they're also not giving themselves the opportunity to score.
Like I said, you can have 20 points in a jam. So with over a quarter left in the game, we'll see.
Well, I know that, but you can't get 20 points in the jam if you're calling them off.
Yeah, that certainly is the case.
Cloverkill breaks loose. And Ragnar Roxy being recycled out. Peaches and Scream doing a great job. Meanwhile, Cloverkill gets knocked out by her own blockers and has to navigate now the tripod of So Derby. Clover working hard. And Ragnar Roxy, wow. Ragnar Roxy taking a beating in there. Great job. That's Jess Stroyer, Peaches and Scream, and Bianca Swagger. They've done a great job tonight. Unsung group here in this game.
Stranger Danger trying to punch some holes and create some offense for Cloverkill. And then all that chaos sent Cloverkill to the box.
So power jam now for So Derby. I think Stranger Danger is the perfect pivot to be the floater. Takes good angles defensively, and obviously, if they get the star pass to them, can jam themselves. So a good position choice there by the brain trust of the Redwood Rollers. Ragnar Roxy finally breaks loose. And, you know, we've seen a couple of times, we saw it with Chakra Punch in the last time they were on a track, how exhausting this game is to be a jammer and to be pushing on a defense like they do.
Yeah, you could see Ragnar Roxy taking a moment to go around the track there. Cloverkill just re-entering.
Well, Cloverkill back in has had a chance to catch their breath while in the penalty box and has come out looking a little fresher than Ragnar Roxy. And
Ragnar Roxy taking a beat on the outside because when you are in that power jam and you're skating for that 2 minutes, it is absolutely exhausting. So they reserve that energy.
Everybody after them, 10:57 to go, 135.96. Humboldt The Redwood Rollers comfortably in front at this minute. And playing the kind of defense is going to be very difficult for Derby to go ahead and try to catch up, because it has just been blanketing defense tonight by by the Redwood Rollers. So a timeout on the track.
Yeah, during this timeout, we're seeing Southern Humboldt take their timeout together, creating a team strategy. The Redwood Rollers have already sent their pack to the track, and so the pack has made a strategy with the jammer for this specific jam.
Muscle Mommy is the jammer, and a pack that's been strong tonight. That's Otter Pop, Slam Chowder, Rotten Chulicore, and
Sprocket Rocket.
Sprocket Rocket. And lining up, they're going to be right on the line to start. No floating in this time. You've got Muscle Mommy, who's had a great game as the jammer for Humboldt and working the outside. Meanwhile, it's Kates of Hell. And look at that. Kates of Hell finally broke loose. Has had a very difficult half, but broke loose here and is looking to be in scoring position right now as they come up on the pack following blockers. And that is kablam blocking for them. And a great job there by Brawl Bunyan to give Kates of Hell a break. And Kates of Hell on a power jam right now because Muscle Mommy in the box. Fine play set up there by Derby to get Kates of Hell a little bit of a start there, a speed start, but now has run into Sprocket Rocket and finally gets by, asking if they want to have the jam ended. Here we go. Muscle Mommy now back on the track and scoring some points, skating around. Kates of Hell takes a dump as they are leveled by Rotten Chulicore. Southern Oregon did pick up 8 points on that jam, make it 11 points, 135-107. Under 10 minutes to go here in the game. Sanctioned bout, played first tonight. Have an exhibition bout that's going to follow. So here we go. Jamming Bjorn Wicked. Don't see that very often.
Yeah.
And Bjorn Wicked taking it to both Zombie Bear and Mountain Mel. There's nothing finesse about Bjorn Wicked here. Power jamming. Pure Presser being held up by Destroyer, Otter Pop, and Peaches and Scream. Bjorn Wicked has broke loose. Following Rotten Chulicore has come out of the box. Going to run some interference, and they call the jam off. Very interesting to have Bjorn Wicked in there for a jam.
Yeah, they are one of our strongest pivots. And whenever they're jamming, they're giving some of our rotating jammers a break. It takes a lot to push through for other people. And so sometimes our jammers need a blocker or a pivot to be thrown into the rotation.
That's showing some depth there by the Redwood Rollers. Furious George and Ragnaroxy. Furious George with a great move to the outside. Furious George breaking loose. And Ragnaroxy also breaking loose. We've got Redwood Rollers all over the track. And now George breaks loose from the points. Crowd going crazy. And they're going to call off the jam before Furious George goes on any kind of run.
And right at the end, we had one blocker from Derby sent to the box. So they're going to start one down on this next jam.
There you go. 4-0 on that individual jam. 7:25 to go, 139-108. A 31-point lead for the Redwood Rollers. There's a timeout on the track as we're getting things sorted out. I did not mention the officials for this game. Hellwood Blues, Tasmanian Devil, referee Lebowski, and Missy Elliott, but also two referees that came down from Medford with the team, and that's Wild Stallion and Slade Marion.
Yeah.
SLAY.
It takes a lot to put on these games, and we are so thankful for our officials and all of our volunteers making this happen for us.
There you go. So Derby, they've got a trip. They were telling me they got a trip to Boise here pretty soon. So that's quite a road trip that they've got to go. 139, 108, 7:28 to go. We're in a timeout. And it looks like Bianca Swagger and...
If you were here in person, you'd be serenaded by the Blowhards, our local band.
Bianca Swagger, and we have Sugar Rush, Destroyer, and Stranger Danger. They're the defense. Chakra Punch is broken loose and is on a scoring pass. Chakra Punch looking a little more refreshed. Maybe that was the jammer that got the extra break. Chakra Punch was on some intense power jams, and now Chakra Punch goes to the box, and Kates of Hell is on the power jam.
So Dubry's playing some strategies, staying at the back of the track right now, forcing Redwood Rollers to string themselves out. And
why would they do that? Why would they stretch out like that and then go ahead and move in unison and try to spring? Why wouldn't they try to spring Kates of Hell the whole time?
If Kates of Hell would have been able to break through that three-person wall and continue to string them, then they would have gotten out, but they needed some more support, so the jammer communicated to their pack that they needed to come in and play some offense at that time.
Chakra Punch being held up by the So Derby tripod. Meanwhile, same job being done by Humboldt. And Chakra Punch is going to knock Kates of Hell out. Look at that. Jammer on jammer. You've got Kates of Hell trying to call off the jam to no avail.
Yeah, they could not call off the jam because this is going to be a power jam and there's no lead established.
So both jammers still on the track. Chakra Punch in the middle of a tripod. Great job, Mountain Mel, Cherry Noble. And finally, the jam is called off. And something being talked about there between referees and players. A 7-4 So Derby advantage that time, but they've got to have more than just a 3-point advantage on some of these jams. There's 5:03 to go, 143, 115. If they're to catch up, they need one of those 20-pointers that we talked about. And into the fray for the Redwood Rollers is Cloverkill doing a great job, and Pure Presser is the jammer for So Derby, but knocked out and recycles back. Cloverkill has broken loose. They're looking to pass the pivot, and now recycling back, unable to get to the pivot, was Pure Presser. Going to the box is Cloverkill. So if you're going to catch up, this is your point for So Derby. They're on a power jam, but Pure Presser just not able to get loose. Stranger Danger and Maud Behavior doing some fantastic defense. I have no idea why Sprocket Rocket is being held up by the tripod of So Derby, because you've got Cloverkill in the box. Now Cloverkill out of the box and racing hard. Pure Presser does not see Cloverkill from behind.
Mm-hmm. They're holding Sprocket in a technique called getting a goat. By holding back a teammate, they can help their jammer gain advantage while the other jammer is in the box.
And that's just by numbers? That means that they're just holding that player back so that player can't be used to go ahead and deter their own jammer?
Yes, exactly. And also making it so they're further back on the track so you can gain their point sooner.
There you go. So a little insight there from Scarcross Lover. Clover Killer's broken loose. This jam is going to go the full 2 minutes, which is a benefit to the rollers at this point. 2:53 to go. And let's see the points awarded in that jam. Jam number 17 of this half. And we've got a timeout, it looks like, on the track. Something being sorted out. 2:48 to go in the match.
When you get to the end of Derby games, you'll see a lot more timeouts and official reviews trying to achieve what I was talking about earlier with those strong jams so you could try to still steal the lead for the game.
Try to save some energy so that they can go on a long jam. It looks like points awarded was 4-0 in favor of So Derby. So 143-119. That's 24 points. They've cut a deficit by 10 here in the last couple of minutes, but do they have enough time with 2:50 to go, time being put back on the clock? One of the slower versions of Proud Mary you've ever heard. Redwood rolling on the river. Here we go. 143-119. Sanction bout going first tonight. Bit of a change. Been a great bout. Humboldt coming off probably the most physical bout I've seen. Ventura was so difficult. This has been a tough game, but it hasn't had the bone-crushing hitting that we saw in the last game, but it has had great defense. Blanketing defense.
Yeah. We'll see what the results are of this official review in the end, but it looks like we're going to start with a couple players from each team in the box.
Well, there's never not a moment when you can't come out and dance, so here we go. The band's playing, and this is the only sport I've ever seen where there's a timeout and official review and everybody's dancing. All right, getting set for the final 2 minutes and 50 seconds of action here from Franceschi Hall.
And the result of that official review did release the blocker for So Derby to be free to play on the track right now. Looks like the only person in the box is going to be Maud Behavior.
Maud Behavior, who's played excellent defensively tonight. And breaking loose immediately, Ragnar Roxy.
Yeah, with a beautiful apex jump on the inside line.
And I think that's the jammer they need to have in right now to try to pick up some points. I know that Brawl Bunyan has had a great half, but Ragnar Roxy, speed and power, maybe they can break loose and get some points. Meanwhile, pushing is Muscle Mommy, and Muscle Mommy breaks loose.
Yeah, they broke loose with a little bit of offense from Bianca Swagger.
They cannot afford So Derby. They're going to call off this jam. Before, knowing that they could not break loose, they had to call off the jam so that the rollers wouldn't score. And, you know, I think with now under 2 minutes, it's turn out the lights, the party's over. You're too young to remember on the broadcast when Don Meredith used to sing that, but that's what we got going here. 143-121, a game that really, there was about the second half of the first half, the final 15 minutes of the first half was all Redwood Rollers, and that's really going to wind up being the difference in the game. Mm-hmm. Here is Brawl Bunyan, who's had a great half.
Yeah.
Was contained in the first half, but has been outstanding here in the second half. And Brawl Bunyan started the second half with that 16-1 run, and they need that now. Oh, taken down,
Ooh.
slam down, Cherry Noble, and that's going to be Otter Pop that gets past the star on the pivot, and Otter Pop delivers a blow
Brawl
to
Bunyan.
Brawl Bunyan. Took out the other jammer. Unbelievable. What strategy was that? Took out the other jammer and now just has to cruise along behind and breaks through. That's it. That's going to wrap it up for the Rollers. Big smile on Otter Pop's face. Otter Pop, the pivot, got the star, took out the jammer, Brawl Bunyan, and has locked this game up for the Redwood Rollers. 30 seconds to go in the game, 147-127. But just a great sequence there when the pivot was passed. Otter Pop, I don't know if this was on purpose, but as Otter Pop cut inside, she took out Brawl Bunyan, the jammer for So Derby, and keeping them from the ability to score.
And
So I'm sorry.
a great effort on Brawl Bunyan's part, playing as the jammer right after they had just been the pivot in the last jam before.
Interesting. Brawl Bunyan did outscore Otter Pop 6-4, but once again, So Derby has won a lot of these jams in the second half, but not by much. And that final 15 minutes of that first half, when Humboldt was able to get about a 40-point lead, that's what the strength of the game was tonight. That's what's held up so far.
I couldn't agree more, Paul. We're seeing another official review, as I stated before, classic for the end of Derby.
Now, are those the best boots ever on a coach?
Yeah.
My goodness. Kind of a, if they were black, they would kind of be the Julie Newmar Catwoman look from the old Batman
Which
series.
is perfect in theme for this evening, as we have a costume contest tonight.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
There you go. Coach Reg with the boots. These boots were made for walking.
And that is what they are doing.
Yes. Good game. Boy, we've seen some good sanctioned bouts recently. That bout with Ventura, and then now this one tonight. Close, well played. They can't start the game because the boots are making another pass around the rink. Coach Reg, got to get back to the box there. It looks like Stranger Danger and Ragnar Roxy. I would imagine Danger's going to be playing a little bit of defense as well, just to ice this one. Now remember, with 28 seconds to go, that's the time of the game clock, but the jam has to be complete. So if Danger can get out in front and call off the jam, this thing's over. Ragnar Roxy looked like they were going to break loose, but then has to recycle back. Danger fighting, and finally breaks loose. Danger around the track can call it off, and that can be the game, and then knocked out by Ragnar Roxy. Look at that. The jammer was being held back. And what's going on? Both jammers on the rink.
So Ragnaroxy hit out Stranger Danger and ran them back far, and now they're having a fun race off for this final jam.
And Danger's going after Roxy. Roxy going after Danger. They hit the pack in turn one. Outstanding collisions here. Speed, they're going to play this whole jam out. I thought what may happen would be Danger would go ahead and tap out, but that has not been the case. They're playing it, and I think that could be it right there. Whistle being blown. Redwood Rollers are going to win this one.
Really great sportsmanship and playful demeanor on both teams.
Well, these two
evening.
teams
That
have a
was
good
lovely.
history together, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Local teams. It looks like the final score is going to be 151-127. Scar, I sure appreciate the your debut.
Yeah,
Did a
I'm
great
so happy
job.
to join you as a commentator this evening. This
Did
has
a
been
great
lovely.
job. And we'll see you in the second game, the Halloween costume exhibition bout.
Yeah,
And fantastic. Thank you so much.
thank you as well, Paul.
Appreciate it. So from Franceschi Hall, final score 151-127. A wonderful bout. Great defense and two very good teams, evenly matched teams. Humboldt's breakaway, the Redwood Rollers at the end of the first half was really the difference in the game. And there's your final 151-127. We'll send it back to the station and be back with the Halloween bout in a few minutes.
Rock me.
Welcome to the KZZH Community Calendar for the week starting Friday, October 17th, 2025. On Friday, October 17th, make it a spooky TGIF with the Ferndale Museum candlelight tours and ghost stories from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Ferndale Museum, 515 Shaw Avenue. This is a seasonally appropriate self-guided tour of the museum. Each stop in the 30 to 45-minute family-friendly haunted tour features a visit from one of Ferndale's historic spirits. Proceeds benefit the museum. Get kids and adult admission pricing at ferndalemuseum.com. It's free for kids under 5. Email ferndalemuseum@gmail.com or call 707-786-4466 for more information. Also on Friday, 'tis the season for the Hall of Horrors starting at 7 p.m. at the Eureka Veterans Memorial Hall, 1018 H Street. This is an immersive multi-room haunted walkthrough, a curated night market with local artisans and vendors, a food truck court, and local culinary conjurers. There will be an adults-only 21 and over event on October 24th and 25th. Go to darkcouncilproductions.com to find out about admission pricing. On Saturday, October 18th, come to the Humboldt Paranormal video showing from 12 to 3 p.m. at the Eureka Library, 1313 3rd Street. This is a showing of Humboldt Paranormal's latest video episode that covers their paranormal investigation of the Samoa Cookhouse. There will be a Q&A to follow. Go to humlib.org to find out more. Also on Saturday, you are invited to the Halloween Harvest Fair from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Organic Matters Ranch, 6821 Myrtle Avenue in Eureka. There will be more than 40 vendors selling food, drinks, treats, crafts, art, and woodworking, face painters, storytellers, pumpkin carving, hay maze, pyramid, petting zoos, and pumpkins galore. Email info@organicmattersranch.com or call 707-798-3276. Finally, on Saturday, get ready to rumble. It's Humboldt Roller Derby starting at 6 p.m. Redwood Acres Fairgrounds, 3750 Harris Street in Eureka. Doors open at 5 p.m. with the first bout at 6. HRD is now hosting local food trucks. If you can't make it out to Redwood Acres, KZZH and Access Humboldt have you covered. Listen on KZZH 96.7, watch on Optimum Channel 8, or live stream video at Access Humboldt's YouTube page. On Sunday, October 19th, come for art, stay for the wine and jazz from 3 to 5 p.m. at Morris Graves Museum of Art, 636 F Street in Eureka. This is a monthly performance series highlighting Humboldt County performers. This month, there will be music by Swingo Domingo. The regular admission price applies. Go to humboldtarts.org for more information. Also on Sunday, the summer music series continues from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Humboldt Botanical Garden, 7351 Tompkins Hill Road, College of the Redwoods campus, North Entrance in Eureka. This family-friendly series invites you to bring your lawn chairs and picnic blankets to enjoy music while sipping wine, beer, and other refreshments and food available for purchase. Or you can bring your own. Go to hbgf.org to find out more. Finally, on Sunday, grab your doggo and head to Bark in the Park starting at 10 a.m. at Sequoia Park, 3414 W Street in Eureka. Humboldt Bay firefighters host this dog-friendly 5K run and walk, benefiting Two Rivers Pet and Wildlife Welfare Services. Come with a leash dog with current vaccinations. There will be live music and raffles. On Monday, October 20th, don't miss the UFC of Humboldt from 6 to 8 p.m. at HLOC Space 92 Sunnybrae Center in Arcata. Bring a ukulele and join the fun. Check out the calendar at ukulelefightclubofhumboldt.com for cancellations and additional events. All levels are welcome. There's a modest suggested donation. Email ukulelesaray@gmail.com for more information. On Tuesday, October 21st, check out English Express, an online English language class for adults. Build your English language confidence in ongoing online and in-person classes. All levels and first languages are welcome. You may join at any time, and pre-registration is not required. Go to EnglishExpressEmpowered.com or call 707-443-5021 to find out more. Also on Tuesday, pick up some produce and more at the Old Town Farmers Market from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Old Town Eureka on F Street between 1st and 3rd Streets. There will be fresh fruits and vegetables, bread, donuts, jam, crafts, and live music. No pets, but trained AD certified service animals are welcome. CalFresh EBT customers receive a market match at every farmer's market. Call 707-441-9999 to find out more. On Wednesday, October 22nd, come to the online Humboldt Healthcare for All meeting from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Humboldt Healthcare for All and Physicians for a National Health Program meet by Zoom. Email healthcareforallhumboldt@gmail.com for the meeting link. Also on Wednesday, join a forum promoting constructive conversations from 4:45 to 7 p.m. at the Humboldt Area Foundation, 363 Indianola Road in Bayside. Community leaders, activists, and concerned citizens will meet to explore challenges of communicating on difficult and complex topics. Call 707-268-2548 to find out more. On Thursday, October 23rd, you are invited to Spanish-English language exchange from 4:30 to 5:15 p.m. at the College of the Redwoods downtown site, 527 D Street in Eureka. The event will connect Spanish and English speakers looking to practice either language in an event of mutual benefit and support. Childcare and refreshments will be offered for the event free of charge. Email jonathan-mayulo@redwoods.edu or call 707-476-4527 to find out more. Scholarships for re-entry students are available for women who are attending Cal Poly Humboldt in either upper level or graduate programs and have returned to college after a hiatus of 5 years or more in their collegiate education. You are invited to check the Humboldt American Association of University Women Breaking Through Barriers Reentry Scholarship Program. Scholarships have ranged from $1,000 to $2,500 in recent years. Application deadline is October 31st. Detailed eligibility requirements and the application are available at humboldt-ca.aauw.net. The Community Access Project for Eureka accepts donations for new appropriate Halloween costumes for children in need ages 0 through 17 through October 24th at the Adorney Center or the Uplift Eureka Community Resource Center during open hours. Get more info at eurekaheroes.org or by calling 707-672-2253. National Alliance on Mental Illness Humboldt offers a free 8-session course in Eureka for family members and others who have loved ones living with mental illness. For more information or to register, email edith.friche@gmail.com or fill out a program request at NAMI, N-A-M-I-Humboldt.org. To submit your nonprofit event to the KZZH community calendar, go to kzzh.accesshumboldt.net and follow the community calendar link located near the top of the page. Your event information will be read twice a day, at noon and 5 p.m. on weekdays and at noon on the weekends. Your event information will also be shared on Access Humboldt TV's bulletin board. Access Humboldt, local voices through community media. For KZZH in Eureka, I'm Isabella Vanderheiden.
Last name?
Filer, like
Matt
somebody
Filer.
that has sent in their taxes.
There we go.
Oh, I guess I'm going to
Testing.
need this.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Get right up on it.
Welcome back to Franceschi Hall here on KZZH 96.7 radio. We are going to have a bit of a. We've gone from, like up in Portland, we're going to go from force to farce. We had the first game, a sanctioned bout with Southern Oregon, and then we're going to have the exhibition bout here for Halloween. We're here with Matt Filer, a familiar face around the Humboldt sports scene, the photographer for the Humboldt Roller Derby. How long have you officially been the photographer?
But I was trying to remember that earlier. It's been a long time. It may be as much as 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So almost from the start with the Humboldt Roller Derby, you've seen this grow.
Yes. Well, you know, at first they had the derby, and then they had the saplings. I don't remember what they called it. They had little girls that they just taught how to skate, and then they had an intermediate level, and then they had this, and then COVID hit, and COVID really hurt Derby because many of them are in their 30s and they didn't skate for 3 years, and
Right.
you get out of shape. You, like everybody, you have kids, you get married, you change jobs, you move away, and you lose interest. So they've worked really hard at bringing back this that they've got today.
And what do you think right now? I mean, the health of Humboldt Roller Derby. Well, let me ask you this first. Have you become a fan?
Oh, I'm a fan. First time I saw it, I was a fan.
First time.
Yeah, the first time Terrence McNally asked me to come and take photos, and I was hooked the minute I came.
Fantastic.
It's exciting. I like to say that it has a really strong following, like the Humboldt crabs, except they're younger. There's more tattoos and more piercings.
Well, I don't know if the roller was younger than the crabs. The crabs are pretty young. And you're also the photographer for the crabs.
I'm on the board, and I take photos for the crabs.
And how
also.
long have you been?
I believe I started on the board. I started their photographer and on the board in around 2008. I was president of the board from 2010 to 2013.
Oh, well, there you go. And I want to thank you because, I fathered a crab. My son Luis played for the crabs in 2014 and enjoyed the experience.
It's like this. The crabs are special. They do a lot of things there that they don't do in other summer collegiate leagues. Like this is another special thing we do up here.
Well, I was just going to ask you that very question. Do you think the crabs and the Humboldt Roller Derby are our two most unique and strong sports cultures that we've got going on in Humboldt County?
Oh yeah, they are. It's people really love to come to these things. I don't know whether it's just it's what we do. During the summer, people come to the crabs game. They bundle up, they come to the game. Some people are the best friends for June and July and won't see each other again. And it's like this. They skate in the spring and in the fall. They normally take off for the summer, but I'm told that next summer they'll be skating.
With home games or in a situation where they're going to go on the road?
I know other derbies do skate all year round, which would be great. And it's once a month. It's usually like the third Saturday of the month they do this, and they pack the house.
Well, as hard a hitting as that last bout was with Vandura, my God.
That last bout,
you needed to have it be once a month.
That last bout was really rough. And I tell people that it's not the roller derby that we saw as kids, which was a lot like professional wrestling roller derby.
Now, which roller derby team did you watch when you were young?
Oh, I don't remember.
Where'd you grow up?
Baltimore.
Baltimore. They had a team?
I don't know. I know that that roller derby used to come on Saturday afternoons like professional wrestling.
We had the LA T-Birds.
Oh, yeah, and I saw it a few times, but I never really followed it.
Well, I had never broadcast roller derby, obviously, I did the crabs for a couple years way back when KHSU did the crabs, and I did Humboldt State football and some other things. But
Well, I'll tell you, roller derby is a lot different than baseball.
no,
In-
I was just going to say.
But I mean, photographing it. In baseball, if there's somebody on first base and he starts running, you know where he's going. Roller derby, you never know what's going to happen. And I shoot in bursts, click, 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 click. And I'll go home tonight and I will honestly upload, download, whatever you call it, about 2,000 images onto my computer.
Wow.
And then tomorrow I'll have to go through them about 6, 7, 8 times before I can even start editing.
And then who do you offer them to?
Well, I put them on my Facebook page and I offer them to roller derby and essentially anybody that wants to look at them. Facebook, many people don't believe in Facebook, but it's my gallery. It's the only place that I could post things like this.
So are roller derby photos popular?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. A lot of people look at them. A lot of people, not everyone tells me. Sometimes I hear it from people. They go, oh, yeah, you really like the photos you took. But I don't know how many people actually look at them.
There you go. So,
But I tell you, they're very appreciative of what I do.
well, they're very appreciative. I think that is one thing that I have noticed too with the Humboldt Roller Derby is a tremendous sense of gratitude.
Yes.
And this is a volunteer organization, and it's one of the great volunteer organizations around. So that is fantastic. Well, I want to thank you for coming on.
Happy to do it.
Yeah, and we'll look for those photos. We'll get set here for the second game. My color broadcaster is showing up. Slam Chowder. I think Slam Chowder might be my first repeat color broadcaster that I've had. It's been wonderful to have the skaters come and join for these broadcasts. That's been really
Okay,
fun.
well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's fun. Great to see you.
Don't go away with the headphones on.
There we
Thank you,
go.
Matt. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
So we're going to be joined by Slam Chowder. I have a lot of questions.
I can put this over my beanie.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, thanks for being here again.
No, are you kidding me? This is our gig, man. KZZH Radio. We love broadcasting the roller derby. Great game.
Thank you. That was
Okay.
really fun.
So let me hang with me here. My God, my teeth were loosened watching
Yeah.
that game with Ventura. It was so hard
Oh,
hitting.
the last game, the
Oh.
knockouts game. Yeah, it was.
Oh.
We all felt pretty beat
Oh,
up.
good
after
thing you
that
play
one.
once a month.
Yeah.
This was a great defensive game, but a different kind of defense. Instead of the big time bone crushing hits tonight, we saw great blanketing defense, great position defense. Your tripods, your packs were outstanding.
Thank you.
You and Rotten Chulicor and
Yeah,
and
Mud
Mud
and Sprocket.
Sprocket. Man, that was a strong foursome. So tell me, how did you prepare? Did you say you wanted to play that kind of defense? Is there a difference between that hard hitting stuff and this kind of defense? I want to know. It looked different, but it was good.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that we strive to be a hard-hitting team, but our strength, I think, is really in the way that we like skate together and stay tight as a tripod and do offense in sync. In a coordinated fashion rather than just sort of like one-off hard hits. Like that's not our strong suit.
No.
Yeah.
And I can say this because I'm not saying it about any. Oftentimes, most often, Humboldt is on the. They don't have the size advantage.
Yeah, we have found that at times too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I mean, we for sure.
we're not
have
supposed
some-
to say it, but
some
I
heavy
notice it.
hitters, yeah, on occasion on our team too. But I think we try to be more strategic in the way that we.
And I've noticed that, and I've noticed some great defense being played. I've noticed one of the things that has been great, and I'll tell you, Stranger Danger is fantastic at this, is that taking the pivot as a floater and moving them down kind of at a 45 or whatnot. So if a jammer does get past that initial tripod, they're there to meet that jammer. And I've noticed that more and more. Has that become a defensive strategy for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always sort of been a defensive strategy for us. I think we're just getting better at like executing that. And maybe our jammers don't need so much help off the line, so the floater's kind of free to be there to catch up at the front of the pack. I mean, I feel like with a game like this where the score is really close, like we have to prioritize defense. And therefore, rather than sending our pivot off to like play O for our jammer, which we also try to do, it's really advantageous, I think, to have them there to catch, especially if it's like an initial pass, because, you know, we want our jammer to be declared lead first. So being heavy on D right off the start of the line is important, I think, in a game that's like evenly matched like this.
I think that one thing I saw with So Derby is that they got their pivot out of position with their jammer a couple of times, and the jammers got held up. You guys did a great job holding up jammers, and you made a nice run in that last half of the first half, and it seemed as if they could never get a pivot pass or the star pass to the pivot because of that. So
yeah. Yeah, it felt really evenly matched. I mean, I think the score reflected that, like 30 or 40 points in derbies, not many points at all. So
no.
Yeah.
So is Southern Oregon one of your, I mean, they're a geographic rival, right? I mean,
Yeah, we play them, I think, once a year. You know, I think they're in Medford, so they're not too far away. Some of them skate occasionally, I think, with Shasta, who we play regularly too. So we love to play them. We love to see them. Some familiar faces out there tonight. I think we have similar play styles, similar body types out there. So
now, do you play them ever up in Medford at the Medford Armory?
you know, I think we had an away game when we first started right after COVID back in like 2023. That was kind of like a mashup game. So it wasn't HRD. It was like a compilation of skaters from everywhere, but a bunch of our skaters went and played. And I think that was the only time that we went and played them in the recent past. Before COVID times, I'm sure we were up there. That was before my time with the team too. So
That's kind of like AD and BC, right? The before COVID
yes,
and after COVID.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
As far as history is concerned.
Right.
Well, you know, talking to some of the So Derby folks, they say they get good crowds in Medford.
Oh, that's awesome. I've never seen the Armory, but I love that people come to watch Derby, you know,
Right.
wherever it happens.
Well, obviously Oregon has a strong Derby scene, and they told me when I was talking to them, they've gone as far north this season as Boise, Idaho,
That's cool.
and
Did they go to
played
this?
Monterey.
Was it the Spudtown Knockdown? Was that the tournament out there in Boise?
Budtown
Yeah,
Knockdown.
I think that's one that we went to in the before times also. There's a big tournament out in Boise.
Wow.
Yeah, we travel all over, you know.
Well, you know, maybe get some funds together, put the announcers on the road.
Yeah, that would be super cool to have y'all broadcast
I'd like
when
to go
we
from
play.
Boise.
Sure. Yeah, I think we have an opportunity to play in Canada potentially next spring. I'm not sure that that's going to happen. I think that would be a big stretch, but
And where in Canada is like Vancouver area?
no, I think it was like Saskatchewan or somewhere
Saskatchewan?
central.
Out in the
Yeah,
prairie?
yeah,
my
somewhere slightly
God.
rural. Yeah, I don't know that we're going to make that poll, but I think we put a bid in to potentially be in that lineup. So we'll keep you all
Wow.
posted.
Yes, that's breaking news. Okay, tell me about this bout. What's going on here?
Yeah, so this is a for fun game. This is like an expo bout for Halloween. There's a mix of HRD skaters of all levels, and then we've invited some of the So Derby folks to join us out there on the track. So this will be 2 regular 30-minute periods, just like any other game. Hard derby, but costumed and, you know, maybe a little more friendly. This isn't a sanctioned game for rankings because we're just playing ourselves. So.
Although that first game was a sanctioned game, so
It was.
very good for Humboldt to
Yeah.
come through in that one.
Yeah, we'll see how the rankings shake out, though. I'm not sure we had enough of a point deficit to really move forward in the rankings. We'll see how that shakes out.
But not losing meant you at least held your spot.
You would think that, but roller derby rankings are super complicated, and I can't even explain them to you.
Well, you know why you can't explain them? Because there's no statistics anywhere. There's no information. I look on these websites of these teams, and there's nothing there.
I'll share with you the WIFTA website with some information about stats.
All right. So here we go. Jammers have broken loose. Who they are, I don't know.
That looks like mad plow disease for white.
Mad Plow for the white team.
Yeah, and that was where did the other jammer go? Who is that?
The other jammer,
Oh, that's somebody from SO Derby. I'm not sure who that is.
that's right.
Maybe
That's what we like when you're the announcer. Get people on there that aren't even on the sheet.
Oh yeah, I wonder if they brought some additional skaters just to like have fun and do this.
So,
second
like
game.
a Virgo for the black team, and who's the jammer for the white team? Can you see?
Yeah, that's Scoobs. That's Scooby Derby Doo, one of our new skaters.
Right, who debuted in the Betty Widowmaker game. You had 6 new skaters debut in the last bout that was in the Ventura bout. That's a pretty amazing weekend to have that happen.
Yeah, I mean that's a hard way to cut your teeth. Also,
Oh, loosen your teeth.
right.
Like a Virgo ahead, Scoobs behind, both on the run. Defense is kind of falling back. I think I'll bet you a beverage that we're going to see a little less contact this game.
Yeah, I think some of the newer skaters are really learning how to be physical, which is great.
Okay. You're listening to KZZH 96.7 in Eureka, community radio from Access Humboldt. And we are being brought to you by one of our underwriters, the Speakeasy Bar, a New Orleans-inspired custom-built bar, seasonal craft cocktails, local fresh ingredients, live jazz and music, and more. Located at 411 Opera Alley. Breaking loose, Raging Eddie, one of the great names, the juxtaposition name, meeting the tripod head on and being knocked out and having to recycle back. Good job.
Thrash, recycled back.
Yeah, good job by Sasha Thrash to throw them back. Haven't called Sasha Thrash's name in a long time.
She broke her ankle at the tournament in at the Gorge in May.
And there you go.
Yeah,
There's
so
the
this
reason
is her,
why.
second time back on skates in a public bout.
Now, for a young player that has debuted recently and is trying to get the call up to the big club, these exhibition matches are very important, aren't they?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think all derby, but especially like, real off the line, 30-minute period derby is important to play. Just getting the hang of all of it.
There you go. Plowing ahead is Scar-Crossed Lover, my color broadcaster from the last game.
She's playing in a mask too, so impressive.
Playing in a mask and has a tail. There you go. Meanwhile, hey, that's from the last game. That's Brawl Bunyan. Must not have gotten enough in that last game. Brawl Bunyan was a very interesting skater in that last game because you guys did a great job keeping them contained in the first half, but they really had a great second half and broke loose for some points. And, So Derby played very tough in that second half. Might have outscored you guys by about 20 points.
Yeah, we were nervous. We were like, oh no, we don't have enough deficit to just ride this out. We really got to skate hard and keep our lead. So, and they're just a super amazing, versatile player. They were out there blocking some of the time too.
Yes. A couple of those players were. So 7-2 in favor of the black team. And two Southern Oregon players are on the track. One is number 3, Rowdy Roadkill. The other one was a referee in the first game. That's Slade Marion was a referee in the first game. Southern Oregon, So Derby brought 2 referees with them, and Slade Marion was one of those referees and is winding up playing in this game.
That's why Derby is so fun. And we were all out there hitting each other, and now we're touching each other kindly in a tripod. So that's what it's all about.
There you go. Haven't heard that on a radio before.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
9-2 for those listening at home. And like a Virgo, who was also entered last week, right?
Did you say injured?
Entered last bout. Like a Virgo, I think, made their. Didn't they
I
make
don't remember. I have amnesia.
the
They
amnesia?
did make their debut last time.
Yeah,
though.
that's what I'm saying. Made their debut last time. And like a Virgo, made their debut in that second game. My God.
Rough.
Very rough.
But they held their own.
Yes. Welcome to the big league. Tell me about Muscle Mommy. Used to skate with a team, took a break, and now is back?
No, Muscle Mommy is a relatively new skater. I
Wow.
think she passed up to the team like less than a year ago and has just skyrocketed right onto the rollers. I mean, she works out all the time. she's a really strong athlete, really smart athlete.
Played a great game in
Mhm.
this last game. Was a very important jammer. And I noticed in that first game, there were some very interesting substitutions. My God, Bjorn Wicked was a jammer for
Mhm.
one. And I think to give jammers a break, I think Stranger Danger is a
Yeah,
is
she's a relief jammer.
she's a relief jammer. They go to the bullpen. 17-4, and Scoops breaks loose. Scoops on the loose and followed by Raging Eddie. Here comes Scoops up to the front, and that's Rotten Chillicothe. Had a great first game tonight, I thought.
Oh.
Rotten Chillicothe.
Got a power jam.
Power jam now as Scoops is going to the box. Raging Eddie meeting head on with the white tripod. Black and white are the teams in this exhibition game. And that's Sasha Thrash. We're getting back into the swing of it all and swinging literally as an elbow goes ahead and drives Raging Eddie out, and Raging Eddie has to recycle. Raging Eddie being held back by Bianca Swagger and Sasha Thrash as skaters are coming in. When you come in from the penalty box, do you have to recycle back behind your jammer?
No.
Where do you have to come in?
You have to come in behind basically every other skater that's not the jammer. I think you can cut one of your own blockers. But yeah, it's often advantageous if you're a blocker leaving the box with your jammer right behind you to sort of get right in front of them and help with offense as they enter the pack.
So here's Scoobs using a screen by Sasha Thrash and then into the black tripod and going out now. It's a power jam again as Raging Eddie has been sent to the box.
It's going to be a 2-minute jam.
A 2-minute jam. They're going to play the full jam here in jam number 7. 21:50 to go here in the first half. The black team is beating the white team by the score of 21-8. Now, Rotten Chillicothe had a great game. I mean, you guys
She always does.
in your butt. Does she always? I mean, I thought exceptional in that game.
For sure. She is one of our original vets. She has been doing derby since the early days of Humboldt roller derby.
And her strength is the just fundamental positioning technique
Absolutely.
kind of defender.
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you like being on in the tripod of with her?
Yeah, I really look up to Tula and listen to Tula. I mean, I feel like we're similar in stature and like she's just so tenacious and so smart. And yeah, she tells us what to do, which is great.
Poetic Justice is loose for the white team. Raging Eddie smashing into Malice and then going around on the outside, tiptoeing. Wow. Look at that. That was some real escape.
So good. Eddie's back after an injury too. She's been off skates for a little while.
And then, I mean, in any given year, you've got skaters out every month, right, that have suffered some sort of bump or bruise.
Yeah, it seems to happen. I mean, ankles are pretty vulnerable in roller derby.
Now, did you all text each other or chat or do something after that last game and said, how are you feeling?
I think that I mean these lineups were set, several weeks ago. We knew who was going to be out here. Some of us that played in game 1 had an option not to play in game 2, which I took. So
No, but I mean, after that last game were you beat up?
That wasn't the most beat up I've ever felt.
Wasn't?
No, that was not the most beat up I've ever
Who was the
felt.
most beat up?
Probably the knockouts.
the knockout?
Yeah, and Bakersfield.
Bakersfield were beasts. All right, here we are. Great move to the inside by Brawl Bunyan and being held up. Look at Stranger Danger. Stranger Danger plays. She plays big, and she is a great defender. So Brawl Bunyan going around and in a scoring position, 24-19, and Brawl Bunyan is given a hip check by Stranger Danger and knocked out there on the far straightaway. Now the tripod for the black team is finally going to let Brawl Bunyan go. Scar-crossed Lover, my partner from the last game, being held up, being the jammer, had the star off, was thinking about passing it along, but went ahead and kept it. Brawl Bunyan is going to finally call off the jam. People are hugging each other out there. You never see that.
It's fun. It's a fun game.
So when you get into a game like last month's game that was so, I mean, it's obvious to me tonight, the reason I'm not asking this question about tonight is it was obvious that So Derby and Humboldt have a great rapport with each other and mutual respect. Are you talking to those people from Ventura last week?
I don't think there was. I mean, I think
Vermont?
we left it on the track. I think
Oh,
that's all.
really?
Yeah, it's fine. And it's Derby. It's a contact sport. Everybody gets a little salty on the track, and we all let it go. I think. Well, I hope they come to play us again.
Oh, I do too. I think a great.
Yeah, I mean, much
see.
deserved win.
Yes. And it was tough, though. It was close. Like a Virgo coming around in a scoring pass. Chakra Punch playing defense gives a hip check. Chakra Punch, who worked so hard in that last game and some of those incredible
Chakra Punch
power
has
jams.
more energy than anyone I've ever met.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
She was the announcer for that Ventura game
Yeah, she did the commentation with you.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
on her birthday. So here we go, a scrum along the far side, and Like a Virgo is going to break through. And Rowdy Roadkill behind, and Like a Virgo calls it off. That's too bad, because we had a great matchup of jammer on jammer there, but Virgo calls off the jam. Hey, look at
Tight
this.
score.
I know a game is broken out while we're chatting so pleasantly, 28-27 in this exhibition bout. So do the road teams hang out with you guys after the games?
Typically, yeah, we all end up at the shanty for the after party. They're the official sponsor of our after party and have been for years and years.
How late do those go?
I mean, it's been a while since I've closed down the bar, but they can go well into the evening.
There you go. Stranger Danger out in front. Trailing behind is
wow.
Mad Plow. Wow. Mad Plow with an apex jump to the inside. One skating it around turn number 2. And now has the lead and is waving to the crowd. Wow.
She's such a calm and collected jammer.
Really?
Always. Just the chillest. Casual apex jumps.
Is there such a thing?
She does it.
You're coming out with some interesting roller derby terms tonight. The tripod of kindness and the
Casual apex jump.
casual apex jump. I find nothing casual about an apex jump. I think it's a bold and daring move. If somebody hammered you while you were apex jumping, oh,
Happens.
it does happen. Here's Scoobs being ridden out by Rotten to Liqueur, and now Slade Marion for the black team has broken loose. Slade Marion might be the first player that we've seen since we've been doing the broadcast that has gone from referee to player.
And they're doing great. They look like a great jammer.
Yes,
Lots of quick feet there.
very much so. Now, it's looked tonight like how much does a jammer have to be out of bounds to be called out?
I mean, once your foot is over the line, you are out of bounds.
But we've seen a lot of it tonight where they've kind of been out at times.
It is possible that we don't have enough refs on the outside lines and they're not catching the track cuts, because as soon as a wheel goes out of the line, you are out.
And then you have to
And then you
recycle
have
back.
to recycle back, or you get a track cut.
There you go. 36-35 in favor of the white. 14:34 to go here in our first half. This is right about the time, probably the 17-minute mark, that you guys really took control of that game with So Derby. It was amazing. The amount of, you got some, you just took advantage. That's what I want to say. You just took advantage of every power jam or every situation that you could and built that lead of 40 points for the halftime and then held on in the second half.
Yeah, we always say that HRD is a second half team. I think we just, get the nerves out in game one, like start to do our homework about like what's working for them that we need to like combat what's working for us. And then by like the second half, we're like ready to pull it in and do the things.
So obviously if you're behind at the end of the first half, you talk about adjustments you can make. If you're ahead, what do you talk about?
Just what we're doing right. I mean, and still adjustments we can make, identifying how we could be, playing better, more cohesive, how we can be helping our jammers.
There we go. So back on the track is Scar Cross Lover, whose parents are here tonight, too. That's nice.
Oh,
they made their
sweet.
way up to visit their daughter and watch Derby. Swagger goes down. Scar Cross Lover goes sassafras, making up for lost time, I think.
Oh, yeah. She's ready to be back in it.
She's ready to rumble there. And that's Poetic Justice that is jamming for the white. Now, knocked way inside.
Yeah, that probably was a track cut, but nobody called it. So here we are.
I think there's been a lot of liberal, it's been a wide strike zone tonight as far as that's concerned. More so than I've ever seen.
I had a lot of penalties today.
Did you?
I had 5 penalties. That was
Five.
that was rough. Yeah, they were on me.
Why, what happens if you commit 5 penalties?
Well, nothing really. 7 and you foul out, but it's just every time that you're off the track and the other jammer is scoring, they get your point. So
Right.
you're just kind of useless.
So the white team up 40-35, 13:21 to go first half. Poetic Justice following the lead of some of her blockers, turning them into offensive players. And there's a skater on the ground.
It's twerking beans.
Torque and Beans.
Also back after an injury.
Back after an injury. And also great makeup here for the Halloween game. Torque and Beans. Torque and Beans dislodging spins and needles and able to spring Scarcross Lover. Meanwhile, smiling amid the scary makeup is Poetic Justice, cutting to the inside and scoring points. Scarcross Lover looking to have a problem skating. Hope
maybe
it's not an
maybe a skate
injury.
malfunction, it looks like.
A skate malfunction. There you go.
Sometimes you just like lose your toe stop.
You what?
I said sometimes you just lose your toe stop, or a wheel.
Okay,
Muscles had a wheel fall off in the first game. Did you see that?
No.
She skated so hard her wheel fell off.
Wow. And a toe stop is the hard rubber round piece there that you're able to pivot on.
Yes, yeah.
So breaking loose is Raging Eddie, and that's Brawl Bunyan. And I'll tell you what, Danger doesn't look like she's playing in an exhibition bout.
She's always doing like the best derby, but always having so much fun, which is why she's so fun to skate with.
A great technique too. That's what I mean. I think that oftentimes the Redwood Rollers just simply play bigger because of the technique. So right now, this situation is we have players going all over the place. Brawl Bunyan fighting against Stranger Danger down here in turn number 2 is going to be on a run. It's 56-35, the white team. They've really been scoring, and they're on a power jam right now. Raging Eddie
2 blockers down right
in
now.
the box. 2 blockers down, and Danger lets Brawl Bunyan pass. Looks like Raging Eddie's going to come back into the game, recycling back and getting knocked out immediately. Has to recycle back again. Meanwhile, this jam's going to go the full 2 minutes. And Brawl Bunyan scoring all kinds of points. Already a 16-3 run. 20-7 run, 68-42, 10:07 to go. Jam number 14 of the first half, and that's going to be the full 2 minutes. Wow.
Still got one in the box for white and black.
For some of these skaters, their second bout, they played in the Betties and Widowmakers game the
know.
other day.
I'm sure they're tired. That was a big scoring jam for both teams there, 20 and 11.
31 points total on the jam. Here's Leica Virgo in the skeleton costume pushing through and knocked out by Sasha Thrash.
That might have been a track cut that they let go too.
Yeah, I think a lot of them tonight. Rowdy Roadkill is working for the whites and breaks loose. Like a Virgo smashing in.
Yeah, it was a back block. Called on a penalty, so black jammer down.
And that's when the jammer runs into someone from the back. That's called a back block, a clip, so to speak, and sent to the box. So Rowdy Roadkill, who didn't get much playing time in the first game for So Derby.
Yeah, I'm glad they're getting it now.
Yeah. The only way to get players ready. These exhibition bouts, they go ahead and serve a real purpose to get these players, like you say, that time in a 30-minute half and to see what competition is like. Slade, Marion, and Cloverkill, usually jammers working on the blocking right now. Sasha Thrash. Well, I'll tell you what, Sasha Thrash has not avoided contact. Let's put it that way.
No, she's
happy to be
throwing her
back
hips
out
into
there.
it, yeah. Oh, she's got Virgo's number.
It looked like Roadkill wanted to call off the jam, but that is yet to happen.
Yeah, we have no lead, so maybe another 2-minute jam.
Well, in the box is like a Virgo, so it is a power jam. It'd be a power jam if Rowdy Roadkill could break loose, but that's not currently happening. Good defense there by Slade Marion and Cloverkill, usually not blockers. Now we see also someone who's not a blocker, usually Chakra Punch out there playing that position for the white.
Chakra does great offense. I think having a jammer brain helps her play good offense for her jammers.
That was a great move there by Mad Plow Disease to get away from Rotten Tula Core. Tula tried to give her a hip check, and I'll tell you what, Mad Plow's got great vision, finding the cuts.
Yeah, she's a very patient jammer. Takes the spots, takes the holes.
Has she been out with an injury? I mean, we haven't seen her in a lot of bouts lately.
She is definitely a roller. She came with us to the Golden Bowl. She just is like a mom and works a busy job and like does life a lot, you know. So, and she's our volunteer coordinator, so she's often spending a lot of time at the games, making it run smoothly.
Well, and that's interesting because, I mean, being the age I am, right? You're only young once as far as your playing career days, right? And so, I mean, she can play. She can skate.
Oh, she'll be skating a long time, we hope.
Yeah. Scoops breaks loose and is the jammer for the white team. Jamming for the black team right now is Torque and Beans. At least Torque and Beans had the hat passed to her. Torque and Beans with a white Halloween makeup. Here comes Scoops behind, getting low and smashing into Pretty Awkward and Scarcross Lover. Some of the newer players on the roster.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Beans was the original jammer. I still see a black pivot up there.
Okay, so Beans has now. Let me ask you about that. Can the jammer just take the head cover off and hold it for the entire jam?
You can hold it. I mean, it is strategic to take it off and stash it. It confuses the opposing blockers. But if you don't have it on your head, you can't score points.
Really?
So yeah. So sometimes, and if you take it off too soon, you can't get lead. So you want to wait until
if you
lead
take it off too soon, you can't get the lead.
Yeah. So you only want to take the star off when a lead has been declared for the other team, because then you've already lost the opportunity to get lead.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
89-48, the white team ahead of the black team. And we're getting a little education, as we always do, from our color broadcasters on the game.
Hi, Cherry.
So here we go. This is Poetic Justice and Raging Eddie. They're facing off against each other as jammers. Raging Eddie is finally going to get through. What a nice hip check there by T-Pain.
Recycled by Cloverkill.
Cloverkill is blocking. Raging Eddie tried the apex jump on the inside and didn't get it. Had to recycle back. They're out there in turn two. Great defense. It's Bianca Swagger. It's T-Pain. And it is Escargot.
We call her Go-Go for short.
Go-Go. I like that's a good nickname. I like Raging Eddie. The juxtaposition name. Right? It's like the old George Carlin bit about jumbo shrimp.
Right. Yeah, no, an oxymoron, right? Something like
Yeah. 3:02 to go, 85-55. Raging Eddie having a good run here and now being sent to the box. So that good run is going to come to an end as a power jam. Power jam for Poetic Justice.
Mm-hmm.
Raging Eddie had gone ahead and racked up 7 points before being sent to the box.
And now we have no lead, so another 2-minute jam, it looks like. A pass just happened too. Swagger's
and when you
got it.
say no lead, I mean, the reality is the power jammer, that's the lead, right?
I mean, the lead in the sense that they're, have an advantage, but lead, and they're not lead in that they can't call the jam off.
They can't call the jam off on a power jam. There you go.
Because it was a pass. Swagger was not the lead jammer. Had she gotten out and been the jammer off the line, she could have called it and would have been lead.
There you go. And we had a lot of 2-minute jams in that first game, it felt like.
Yeah, we have seen a few power jams.
Yes. More so tonight. It's funny because, you notice ways that the games are being called. I've seen more what I think have been track cuts tonight that have been let go, and then we've seen more power jams. Like a Virgo breaks loose, as does
Brawl Bunyan.
Brawl Bunyan, man, I'll tell you what.
Infinite energy.
Yes, that's a skater who's been on all night long. A real pile up there on the far turn number 4. Bjorn Wicked is going to skate on and be the pivot. I was shocked to see Bjorn Wicked be a jammer tonight.
Back in the before days when she had first made the team before COVID, I think she was only jamming. And then changed to a blocker when we all got back together after COVID.
Surprised me because such strong defense, like a natural born defender.
Yeah, she's a utility. She does all the things well.
Do you have to be a utility? It would seem pretty much. Paris not. I don't know about that one. Following Rowdy Roadkill, as we're in the last jam of the half, Paris not getting hammered there by Poetic Justice, who was blocking, and they're going to call off the jam, and that's going to be the first half. Right now, White leads the black team 95-61. And the black team has come out for a jam, but, with 11 seconds to go, the jam has to get started. I mean, you can have extra time in every half, right? Because jams can extend on past the time that's on the clock.
Yeah, I think if there's time on the clock, then they'll run a full jam. I'm some kind of
Well, once you start a
confused by
jam,
that
you got to
too.
finish that jam. But it's like watching soccer, for God's sakes. The time runs out and they're still playing.
Right.
I never understand it. Braun-Luc Picard, our announcer for this game, and her Florida girl costume tonight.
Yeah, she's great on the mic.
Here we go. We're having Matt give a picture of us.
You got to talk to Matt at halftime?
I did.
Oh, that's great.
You know, he was on the Crabs board and taking pictures of the Crabs when my son played for the Crabs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I know he's very involved with our league.
You know, and I think one thing we're talking to Matt about at halftime is, wow, Slade Marion almost made a great move to the outside but got caught up. Meanwhile, here's the ever-entertaining Mad Plow with Stranger Danger, and this is a great matchup right here. It's out in the open. They're pushing into turn number 2, and eventually Danger lets her go. Slade Marion now gets away, but here comes Mad Plow for a scoring run right into the middle. You expect nothing less of a run, and then calling it off, and that's going to be the intermission. I was talking to Matt about these are the 2 greatest scenes in Humboldt County.
Oh, that's great.
Roller Derby and the Humboldt Crabs.
Yeah, we used to do more events with the Crabs back in the day.
Do you know when my son was a catcher, the night he had to catch the person throwing out the first ball was a Humboldt roller derby woman.
That's awesome.
And she got on the mound and did the full windup and fired one in and bounced it. He had to block it for the opening.
Wow. I imagine there's some like softball derby crossover happening.
All right, so we're at the intermission, 97-61 in favor of the white team here with a friend of KZZH, Slam Chowder, and we'll be back for the second half in about 10 minutes.
Rock me.
All right. Look at it. Have you ever seen a coach in boots like that? Come on. Look at those boots for the coach.
They're made for walking. That's just what they'll do.
He is Nancy Sinatra. Unbelievable. Well, this is a mellow game to Brooke. I'm taking the exhibition attitude and actually having a great derby conversations with Cassie Slam
Is
Cheddar.
he coming back?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank God. She's great.
Yeah. Well, the broadcast has gone well.
Yeah, it really,
Everything's worked.
it really has. It's been really nice tonight. Who got it? Muscle Mommy.
Muscle mommy. Yeah.
Muscle Mommy's tough.
Yeah. Having a good night.
Bianca Swagger. Good skating. Look like you're having fun. You know, they're just way nicer to it. You know, I don't know what. Oh, now that we know these folks better, it's just everybody's so nice.
Yeah.
You know, they like what we're doing. They like it.
Yeah. You know they do. Yeah.
Did you go to the protest today?
No, I came on.
I had to go to a memorial, unfortunately.
Oh man.
Yeah,
My wife.
guy. Did she? Good.
We got some pictures. Yeah.
Good. Let's see it.
That's my life. Did you know Lauren?
Yes. Who's that? What shoes she with?
That's a friend Elizabeth and a friend
The
Jennifer.
giraffe.
Yeah, Jennifer. There's a shit ton of people there.
I like this concept that's coming from Portland. This farce, not force.
The costume thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Franceschi Hall. So glad you made it. Being played in the background. I'll tell you, those So Derby players, skaters, and coach, they're tearing it up back there, dancing away. They're a fun team. Will they be a fun team after the game tonight to go hang with? There you go.
Oh, I had my mic off. Sorry. Yes, they're a super
Oh.
fun team, and they will definitely be fun at the after party. We
There
love
you
playing
go, because you got to be good at the after party.
them.
So here we go, starting off the second half of our exhibition match. Scoobs, who is jamming for the white. I think Scoobs has been impressive tonight.
Scoops is always impressive. I think she's just really athletic, and she's really good at taking risks on the track.
So Scoobs jamming, and as is Scarcross Lover. Scarcross Lover masked and ready for a scoring pass coming
our lead
around
jammer.
turn number 2. Looks like they got that skate malfunction dealt with from the first, and then is met by, was that Chakra Punch that delivered the first blow? And Bjorn Wicked will finish her off, and she'll fall to the track. Chakra Punch.
Chakra's a really solid human. She's like super muscular, and like when you get hit by her, you will be knocked over.
There you go. Who's the hardest hitter on the team?
Probably Jess Destroyer, 64. Yeah.
Destroyer. Of course. If you're named Destroyer, you should be the hardest
Yes.
hitter on the team.
There's a couple others up there with her, but she packs a punch.
I'll tell you what, who's been doing a great job tonight is Sasha Thrash. And Sasha Thrash and Danger kind of have a little thing going back and forth right now.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's Poetic Justice trying to break loose as a jammer, as is Like a Virgo. And the teams are bunched up still around turn number 2. Finally, Like a Virgo breaks loose. Like a Virgo eyeing their pass to the white team to score. Swagger and Sasha Thrash in there first on defense, but breaking through is Like a Virgo. Hey, who won the awards?
So we had Muscle Mommy as most valuable jammer. We had Danger as most valuable blocker. And then, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on the last one. I'll think of it.
It was just 2 minutes
Oh,
ago.
Swagger. I know. Sorry, I'm
For
tired.
God's sake.
Swagger got most valuable player, I believe.
There you go. Bianca Swagger having a big game. So the jam is going to be called off. People are laughing on there, and we did not see that in the first game. There's hilarity
No, they're having
in
fun
turn
out
number
there.
4. Well, tell me the truth. Are these kind of games fun, or
They are. Yeah, I mean, I think they're just a lot less pressure, and we get to be dressed up and have fun with our friends. I personally like them much better when they're after the intense sanction game versus
Oh, really?
before. Yeah.
And that was interesting how it was scheduled tonight. Why did you schedule it that way?
I think that we didn't want to exhaust people who were playing in the sanctioned game against us, So Derby. We originally had another team lined up to play our B team, Root Force, but they dropped out. So that's why we ended up having to do a Halloween Expo bout.
And then who was that other team that was going to come in?
You know, I can't remember. I'm usually not in those conversations.
So Raging Eddie breaking loose, 98-66 in favor of the white team. Raging Eddie is the jammer for the black team. Oh my. Takes a high hip check from Bjorn Wicked. Bjorn Wicked is the tallest player, I believe, on the Redwood Rollers.
Yeah, she might be. She definitely got a lot of legs to get in the way.
Well, and when she gives you a high hip check, it's a high hip check.
Yeah, it's like my face.
But that was a great one. So Cloverkill and Stranger Danger, 2 players that play a lot of jammer as well, are being blockers at the moment. And breaking loose for the black team.
It's kind of
Scar-Crossed Lover. Meanwhile, it's Rowdy Roadkill, the import from So Derby, being held up by Danger, pretty awkward. And that's also Clover and Rotten Tulacore. Look at Tula.
I think that's the fun thing about expo bouts is that like you get to play positions you don't usually play because there's not a lot at stake here.
No. But with a person like, let's say a person like Tula, like you called her the consummate veteran, would it be good for younger players to play with Tula, say, in, being blockers, playing in the tripod, doing...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's the way that you really learn derby is to play with people that are better than you.
Do you feel like there's you're always bringing players up. Is there a wide variety of skill level that you have even on the Redwood Rollers?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I feel like I myself am one of the like fresher rollers compared to some of the folks that I skate with. But I think, yeah, everyone's kind of at that competitive level that's on the rollers though.
Mad Plow made a great move to the outside. Mad Plow in this game has shown some great track awareness. That was one thing that I enjoyed Scar-Crossed Lover in that first game talking about was what they say they work on the most is track awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that to be, I just like that answer. I found it to be more interesting and pointed out certain techniques that happen during the game that you have to recognize. And
yeah, I think that's important no matter what position that you play, like knowing who's lead, knowing where your jammer is, being aware before somebody just takes you out from left field.
So Scoobs is fighting on the outside turn, and we're seeing some hitting going on as Raging Eddie is going ahead and jamming for the black team, Scoobs for the white team. And really, they've been the two most impressive jammers so far as we've seen different jammers. The Humboldt Roller Derby using this exhibition bout to get people some time. So Scoobs and Raging Eddie, I think both have been impressive.
Yeah, they're doing so good.
I noticed tonight more often than say past bouts, your tripod, your blockers went ahead and started on the far jam line and then scooted up. Why tonight? Why did you use that strategy?
I think we just felt it was working for us and we didn't want to be in a position where the other team could pinch us off the line or do a play on us and prohibit us from blocking effectively.
Stranger Danger was knocked out by Bjorn Wicked, had to recycle back and then just zipped and got into the lead and is in scoring position. Does a nice little apex jump, the casual apex jump.
Yes, very casual.
And is racking up some points now.
Yeah, I think Danger's feeling it. We won a sanctioned game. She's feeling good.
I think she's a great player.
Oh, for sure. She's a vet, too. She hasn't been with our league long, but she's skated in many leagues across the state for years.
A very good player. Well, that's lucky to have imports. One of the things, I know it was a controversy, wasn't a controversy with me, but it was a controversy last game about, that the bout with Ventura that they brought up, they said they were a BNC team and they were an outstanding team. Well, that's fine. If you get in a bigger area, you're going to have more players to draw from. Your B teams are going to be
for sure
stronger. Your
yeah.
C teams are going to be stronger. And, an area like this, even the Rogue Valley has many more people to pull from than Humboldt County. I would say that teams like Shasta and teams like the Redwood Rollers, they might not be as deep as some of those other teams.
That's 100% accurate. Yeah, I mean, we're very highly ranked, I think, for how rural we are. I think we've historically been a super good team considering that we have a very small group of humans to pull from.
It's interesting, the jam is called off. Paris
confusion.
Knott with their hands in the air. It was interesting. I mean, you've got to get people interested in roller derby, and hopefully the people that get interested in roller derby are athletes.
Yeah, I mean, not always, but they often become athletes.
That's interesting.
That's what's so special, I think, about roller derby.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think people are able to make that change, that crossover?
I think it just roller derby is for all kinds of bodies, all kinds of ages. I mean, it's not a sport any of us were playing growing up generally, so we're all kind of starting as adults. It kind of feels like maybe a little bit more level playing field if you're getting into being an athlete as an adult. We're all kind of learning the thing at the same time.
Well, it's very impressive, and there's some great energy out here right now. If you watch the interplay there between Bjorn Wicked and Brawl Bunyan, who were hitting each other in the last game and are teammates in this exhibition game. Brawl Bunyan, I since the first half of the first game has been very impressive. Kind of a leaping, spinning apex jump she pulled on the last time around the track.
Yeah,
Rowdy
they're a
Roadkill.
star player for sure.
That you thought that was their best player? I'll tell you
yeah,
what,
my
I was
opinion.
very impressed with the defense in the last game of wow, great hit there between Spins and Needles and Raging Eddie. Wow, that was something.
Sometimes you really hear the hit.
Yeah, I did that. It was right in front of us. I thought that Fornis Skater.
Uh-huh.
And
That's a fun one to say on the
Yeah,
on
it
the
was,
live
yeah.
television.
The job I have, is this the high point or the low point of my radio career?
I hope it's the high point. That's what's so fun about Derby, you know?
Yes, the campiness.
Yes.
It works. But I also thought Mountain Mill, I thought those were two very good defenders that So Derby had last in that first bout.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we awarded Mountain Mel the MVP for her performance.
Mountain Mill, 116-93, but a very tall player with a big, wide reach that was fantastic, floating back and keeping the jammers intact.
She knocked me down a bunch. I wasn't even jamming.
Oh, I know. I saw more last game when there would be blockers that had kind of fallen behind. I saw people taking them out.
Yeah, I mean that's roller derby. You hit everybody, you knock them down. Doesn't matter if they're jamming or not.
Raging Eddie is picking up some points here on a 12-0 run. Dropped to the ground by Spins and Needles, who they ran into the last time around. Sort of turnabout fair play.
Yeah. Little karma there.
Finally breaking loose was Rowdy Roadkill, only to have the jam called off. A 13-0 jam. And hey, look what's happening while we've been talking so pleasantly. 116-102.
The score's creeping up. Yeah,
There you
they've
go.
changed. They're doing something different than the first half.
I mean, in an exhibition bout, do you even talk strategy at half?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's definitely value in playing it like it's a real game. I mean, it is a real game.
Well, there's a real game for these new players that are trying to make an impression.
Yeah,
and I'll
for
tell you, a good
sure.
impression right now, I think, is being made by Mad Plow, who gets driven out and has to be recycled. But Mad Plow has played a very good game as a jammer. Meanwhile, trying to pass the star, jamming for the black team is Scarcross Lover, who does pass the star to the pivot, Torque and Beans,
Yeah.
only to have the jam called off.
Beans was playing some great offense in that jam too.
You know, I saw it, and it was nice because I got to see it through Scarcross Lover's eyes. As what's nice about if you have people that is their first time commentating, that roller derby gives us the break before each jam where people can talk,
Right.
and that's nice. And Scarcross Lover was really focused in on the offense being played by the blockers and the pivot when their lead jammer came around, and it was very insightful. Very good.
Good. Yeah, she's a super smart player for a relatively new skater. You can tell the gears are turning for sure.
A teacher.
Huh?
She's a teacher.
She's a teacher.
She's
yeah,
a teacher. Of course, she's
an art teacher, I think.
Yes, an art teacher. Very good. So gotta have something going upstairs if you're doing that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, strategy doesn't come natural to everybody. I think, especially if you haven't been in sports all your life. But she definitely has. She's got that brain.
So here we go. It looks like Raging Eddie and Poetic Justice. Raging Eddie for the black team, Poetic Justice for the white team. 14:35 to go. We've got a close bout. 124-106. We've had two good bouts here tonight at Franceschi Hall.
Looks like black
And here's
is
an
lead.
idea. Tula just looks like she's taking Malice out. And now Tula goes after T-Pain. And there's some hitting going on. Poetic Justice coming around. It's going to be Stranger Danger and Paris Knot and Tula. And Tula and Paris Knot driver out. You're going to have to be recycled. Looks like we had the jam called off.
Score is inching closer.
Black team wins the jam 4-2. Ekes a little closer. Seemed like that worked for the Rollers in the first game in that second half. After the So Derby had that one big run, and then had the one big run, and then, jams were called off. And it was just incremental, little gains. Then it helped Humboldt keep the lead. You're listening to KZZH 96.7 Eureka, community radio from Access Humboldt. We're also being underwritten by the Speakeasy Bar, a New Orleans-inspired custom-built bar, seasonal craft cocktails, local fresh ingredients, live jazz music, and more, located at 411 Opera Alley. And we have Danger on the jam. And Stranger Danger is going to go ahead and pick up 4 points for the black team. And now this is within a jam. It's 129-114. We could easily see a 15-point swing on a jam. So you're talking about one possession game, so to speak.
For sure. Yeah, this is close for Derby.
We've had a lot of close bouts this fall.
Yeah, I think things are finally evening out a little bit. I think after COVID, like our rankings were maybe a little bit inflated. So we were playing teams that were like much higher ranked than we probably should have been playing for a little while, but we're like starting to shake out right where we need to be. So I think we're going to be seeing more competitive Derby happening.
Great job by Tula that time to go and be that floater and take on Rowdy Roadkill. Like a Virgo is loose for the black team and runs into the blockers for the white team. And nice job there by Bjorn Wicked floating back and giving the hit check and knocking Like a Virgo out. Virgo has to recycle and will come in. While we haven't seen the big hitting like we've seen in some games here in this exhibition match, there's still a little bit going on.
For sure.
Enough.
That's what Derby's all about.
And Virgo's going to get loose and rack up some points for the black team. And it's the white team that needs to get on the stick here and kind of get some scoring done, but it's not really happening. The black team is making a surge here in the second half, picking up 4 more points there, 5 more points. I should learn that. Never immediately call the score in Derby because they keep adding.
At the end of the jam?
Yes.
Yeah, they tally all the points that get added to the scoreboard.
So there's different referees going ahead and assigning different points. 1 point there, and we are now a 10-point bout, 129-114. 119.
It's getting close, yeah, with 11 minutes on the clock. Could be anybody's game at this point.
Now, let me ask you a question. Is this something that might become a practice for the rollers, is to play the sanction game first, and the next game, whether it be a root force game or an exhibition, second?
I'm not really sure. I historically we've always played our headlining event second, but yeah, we'll see what happens. We are talking about changing up our season a little bit and having more of our competitive games stacked in the spring and then more of our like fun games in the fall. So that might also change the way that we do the lineup. Yeah, we'll see. To keep you posted.
Yeah, please keep me posted. I'm going to tell you something. Roller derby, I've gone to these other websites. I went to Denver. I went to Portland.
Doing your research, Paul.
I am. And you know what? It's the most mysterious sport on the planet. Nobody puts any scores. Nobody puts any statistics. Nobody puts anything. It's more like, oh, this is our community, and this is.
Oh, you got to go to the WFTDA website, the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. Yeah, WFTDA.com. That's our governing body, international governing body. That's where all the rankings are. Yeah. Hopefully it's more transparent.
All right. It's a mysterious sport.
I mean, it's very
I'm
DIY.
trying.
We're figuring it all out. You know, Derby hasn't been played in the way that like baseball has been played for,
Right.
organized for decades and
Right.
decades.
Right. And I grew up in a very traditional sports environment. And so this is very different.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And, very, very, that's why I think that when you watch these games, when you have the skaters that you guys have sent me to work with, it's great because the people's stories are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This is a sport about the individuals that are making up this team, and it's interesting to me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So here we go. We've got a development right now. Scarcross Lover is out to be a jammer without the mask this time.
Yeah. I wonder if that gets in the way of.
Breaking news. And Scoobs. Oh, Scoobs trying to get to the
Get out by
outside.
Doom.
Knocked out by Doom. And Scarcross Lover actually takes the lead. What great body work by Parasnot. Wow, that was textbook blocking.
Yeah, Snot really is like an acrobat on the track at times. Wow, look, that was great. I think they just apex jump as a blocker.
Unbelievable. Jam being called off. But I know you guys shorten everybody's name. Snot?
Snot. Yeah.
How do you say it?
Snot, Parasnot, Snot. There's some cartoon reference that I'm not super familiar with. I think that maybe other folks out there will understand that her name,
All right. We'll take your word for it. Raging Eddie and Poetic Justice.
On the line.
Kind of livened up like an I formation. Poetic Justice, the fullback, Raging Eddie, the back, and Poetic Justice and Raging Eddie both break loose. Now you've got jammer on jammer. And Raging Eddie catching up. Poetic Justice calls off the jam.
Smart, trying to save their points.
So taking some time off the clock, 9:34 to go, 131, 120. Still anybody's bout.
Yeah, they shrunk that deficit. 11-point deficit at 9 minutes is anybody's game.
See what happens when we're not paying attention?
I know.
All right, here we go. It's like a Virgo for the black team. And Brawl Bunyan. And Brawl Bunyan has had a big night here at Franceschi Hall.
For sure. Oh, it's some good offense by Wrench.
Oh, Sassafras. Almost threw a skate out there. Could have been a tripping call. Brawl Bunyan scoring points. Jam called off. Let's see what happens here score-wise.
Mm.
White gets 4. Lucky for them. They've kind of tried to stem the tide here. The black team has been far more successful here in the second half.
Yeah, they've really pulled it together. Interesting formation off the line. We'll see what they do with their start. Looks like black is 2 blockers down.
So there we go. Penalty box has left black depleted as Mad Plow Disease breaks through. Cloverkill comes back on for the black, wearing the pivot helmet and turning and getting ready to meet Mad Plow. But a great job by Bjorn Wicked and Chakra Punch to block out the defenders for the black team. And Mad Plow was able to circle around for the white just when the white needed some sort of lift, so to speak, something good to stem the tide, as I've said earlier. And it's 139-120 now.
White still crawling ahead.
Important here, Raging Eddie has been consistently outscoring Rowdy Roadkill, so we'll see how this jam goes. And is that a timeout?
Yeah, official review, it looks like. Maybe the black team wants to call a review of a penalty?
Well,
We'll find out.
talk to me. How are they reviewing? There's no replay.
There's no replay.
They're not looking at anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So what is there a review of?
I think it just brings the refs and the captains together, and then usually whoever called the review will say, like, this is what we saw, and then the refs have to, like, double down basically on the call that they made, or they can say, you know, you're right, maybe that's a thing we didn't see, or we misunderstood a thing that happened. So, yeah.
That could change the course of a game.
So, yeah, certainly. They're important.
Here we go. After the review.
We also sometimes just use official reviews as timeouts because we're tired. So that's totally allowable also.
You know, they're going to call cutting the track on Raging Eddie. That was the first time tonight I thought they didn't go out. So that means a power jam for Rowdy Roadkill. But Rowdy Roadkill has been bottled up. Tula doing a great job, body on body, just keeping Rowdy Roadkill at bay. Now Tula's going to have to go to the penalty box. Rowdy Roadkill breaks loose. This could be just what the white team needs to get a little space to be able to kind of put things away.
Yeah.
6:32 to go.
They're a power jam and they're a lead jammer, which means they can call it off at any time.
Once you're the lead jammer, are you always the lead jammer?
Unless you go to the box, you are.
So Raging Eddie is back on. Raging Eddie, who skated very well in this game. And calling it off was Rowdy Roadkill from that lead jammer position.
Before Eddie could score any more points there.
6-1 was the exchange on the jam. 5:53 to go, 145, 121. So what did get down to just a mere 10 points is now 24 with clock running. How long does it take you to get from breaking everything down and from here to the after party?
It's usually about an hour.
An hour?
Yeah. The setup is even longer.
Oh, is it? So how long have you been here today?
Most of the skaters show up at 4. But before that, there's bout setup on Fridays. Many of the folks that are involved in bout production show up early in the morning to get things done, mop the track, all of that. So it's a multi-day production to make a community event like this.
And Thursday is your last practice.
You mean during the week generally? Yeah, we practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays here in Redwood Acres.
So then they could set up the rink on Friday.
Yeah, and we do all the chair setups. They pull the bleachers out for us, but we tape the track and all that.
There's a timeout taken by the black team, it looks like.
a few minutes to regroup.
Now, who is this guy that does the timeouts and the?
Yeah, he's a non-skating official, so he's an important person. He's the one that shows us when we're in timeout or official review. He's also the 5-second whistle when we start the jams, so we look to him to begin the jams. I actually don't know his skate name, but
You don't know his name.
I don't know. I think I may have heard through the grapevine that he has a child that's in our or was in our saplings program, which we're hoping to bring back soon.
Yes, I've talked to some high school kids that are very interested in being in the
Oh, that's
sapling
great.
program.
Yeah. I think maybe next year, 2026, we're gonna be ready to launch that again.
4:56 to go, 147, 123. Bouncing up and down, that must be Danger
You're quite right.
as a
Yeah,
jammer. And then behind Danger, is that Poetic Justice?
it is indeed.
So there we go. And Danger almost jumping around and kind of getting in front of Poetic Justice. Is there good footwork by Danger on the inside. My goodness. Can one jammer do that? Take in the box, take the lead over the other jammer?
Do you mean like if the jammer has gone to the box, can they?
No.
become lead?
When they're lining up for the jam, can one stand in front of the other?
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, you're not allowed to make like aggressive contact before the whistle blows, but you can definitely get in front of them, and then blocker or jammers can play defense against other jammers for sure.
If they're not careful, the white team is going to have Stranger Danger make up all the points.
Yep, 12 on the board.
Called the jam off. I'm surprised that the jam was called off. Stranger Danger picks up 12. And that tightens things up with 3:53 to
Yes,
go,
indeed.
147, 135.
They've got Paul Brun what is their name? Brawl Bunyan on the
Brawl
line though for
Bunyan.
white, and I think they're about to maybe throw down some points too, so we'll see.
Welcome to my world.
Yes. Everything's a tongue twister, sorry.
Oh, for God's sake.
It'd be so much less fun if it was just like our last names though.
Yes. Brawl Bunyan. Like a Virgo breaks loose, but Brawl Bunyan is in scoring position and makes a move and cuts inside on Torque and Beans and picks up the points for the Whites and then calls the jam off smartly. That increases it to 16. Not quite enough, but to make it safe, but still an important 4 points to pick up.
We maybe have 2 more jams before this half is over, so
What's interesting about the running clock is that it runs while the jams are being lined up. So some clock burns. Rowdy Roadkill and Raging Eddie, they've squared off many times tonight. Raging Eddie is going to need to get loose and get on a roll here, but knocked out and has to recycle back.
yeah, they're a good matchup.
They are a good matchup. Matt Plow is out there playing defense with Chakra Punch and T-Pain for the Whites. A very important.
Yeah, Plow does everything. Plow's
Defensive
also
stand.
a great blocker.
So Rowdy Roadkill got loose for the Whites. And finally, Raging Eddie does, but it's Rowdy Roadkill that's the lead, using the blockers as they go in formation and lay some blocks down for her. Raging Eddie finally up to the back and tries to do a spin move to the inside, gets knocked out and has to recycle. 134 to go. It's a 16-point deficit, and we've got all kinds of whistles. And
Nothing more demoralizing than getting recycled.
is that the most
Oh,
demoralizing?
it's the worst, yeah.
Being recycled?
Oh, for sure. Or just being knocked over, but being recycled is pretty rough.
There you go. So after all of that, there was just 1 point scored in the entire jam, which is very, very
there's some good defense
advantageous to the Whites now in their position. Timeout by the mystery man himself.
Timeout White.
I think I have Hang on. We'll figure this out.
I think this might be the last jam of the night.
1:31 to go. The black team really needed there to be 2:31 to go so that they could have had 2 full jams.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to pull it back in a minute and 30 seconds.
No.
Unfortunately.
People dancing.
Yeah, our SO Derby friends from game 1 are having
The
a great
SO
time
Derby.
on the bleachers.
So Derby, they're going to be fun to party with tonight, I think, for the Redwood Rollers. So Derby dancing in the stands. The coach, the boots on the coach. Come on.
Yeah, it's great. You gotta show up, gotta show out,
Like a Virgo. And there's Scoobs.
Scoob's out in front is lead.
Scooby Derby Doo. Scoobs breaks loose, and that is really just what the white team needed to lock this up. Scoobs recycled out and then quickly back onto the track and pushing the lead jammer. She's scoring points, and this is going to be the match. This is going to be the bout. The white team is going to hang on in a very entertaining exhibition bout.
Yeah, this has been a great game. Super evenly matched. Lots of good derby being played.
And I think some jammers that were really impressive here.
Oh, for sure.
So, we talked earlier about the depth of a team. I mean, if you get jammers making debuts like this, like Scoobs is doing, like, Mad Plow had a good game. Raging Eddie had a good game.
Yeah, we have a lot of heart in our league, a really extensive training camp program. Really sets people up for success.
It takes a full year, doesn't it, at least?
Yeah, before you're able to make the team, you usually do level 1 a training camp and then level 2.
Well, amazing for people to stick with it. I thought Scoobs was trying to call it off, but
The bench bench is trying to tell her to call it.
yeah.
Oh, she's out. Oh, no.
And it should be the match. Scoobs has been calling it for.
Oh, but she got called on a penalty, so now she's no longer lead. Oh, but it doesn't
there
seem
it
to
is.
matter.
It's over. 168, 139. The white team
Nice.
beats the black team in the Halloween exhibition.
They really pulled through. That was awesome.
Well, I want to thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
I'll
It's
tell you
fun
what,
as
it makes a
always.
difference to
Yeah.
have somebody for a second time, and a great night. You guys played a fabulous
Thank
sanction
you.
game in the first game, and we look forward to the November bout. Who's
Yeah.
on tap for the November bout?
I honestly cannot remember.
I
I'm
shouldn't
so
ask
sorry.
any questions.
You should. I should
The
have that information
the
prepared.
mysterious
I'm
lead.
literally the lead of our public relations committee. I should know who we're playing.
I can
Apologies.
tell. Well, you guys have fun tonight.
Oh, I can tell you though that the Roots game is a sanctioned game. So our B team will be playing in a sanctioned game.
Oh,
Yeah, so that will be for rankings, competitive rankings for our Roots.
fantastic.
Yeah, so that'll be exciting.
So from Franceschi Hall, a big night as the Redwood Rollers won the first bout in a sanctioned game against Southern Oregon, So Derby. And then here in the exhibition match, a good time had by all with the white team winning 170-43. For our underwriters, the Speakeasy, Rennie Public Law Group, and A to Z Eye Care. For our crew, the executive producer, Matt Knight, broadcast engineer, Nate Dogg, assistant, Eric Black, theme music by Thomas Chan, our Ring Crash, our official song, and my color broadcaster, Slam Chowder. This is Paul Rousseau, rounding third and heading home. Good night. Final again, 170-143.
Thanks, Humboldt.